Hi, everybody. It's our 100 sub episode. What do you
That's
think of
right,
that?
ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Gangster Ghost has reached 100 subscribers. And if you're watching this video right now and you haven't liked, subscribed, and shared the video, shame on you. How you doing today, Gangster?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm just racing through the desert here in this old rally car on Forza. I think I'm going to
Hi.
win, I hope.
Yeah. Wow, that video made me sick. What he said to ugh.
Oh, what? The 100 subscriber video or the
Oh,
one we
that
watched before the stream?
the one before the stream.
Yeah, just to be clear, so nobody's get confused. You're not sick from the video I made you.
That's an awesome video. Thank you, Mark.
Oh, thank you. Hey, good job, man. You got 100 subscribers. That's a big deal.
Thank you. Yeah, that
Heck yeah.
guy. Wow, that was messed up. And it was funny what Dustin said about Lupin on the Zetter stream. It's funny.
Yeah, I saw that too. He said Lupin doesn't have the intelligence to do a porn bomb. I thought that was hilarious and pretty accurate. I don't know. Lupin probably could.
Yeah,
Lupin is smart enough to know how to stream. So maybe. I hope not. I
and
hope he's not that kind of person. But I know he's a terrible human being anyway, so
Ooh.
who knows?
Look,
What's up?
she said I have 105 now.
Nice.
Thanks.
105, baby.
Oh, thank
5
you.
subs in what, one day? Heck yeah.
Awesome. And what do you think
Great,
that
man.
one video they did? Thank you. Lupin, he had a video of Aiden. He blocked Aiden, but he also had a video about you.
Yeah, he did that video and he called me a demon and a weak vessel, which I thought was hilarious coming from Lupin.
He's a crazy guy. Hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kentucky guy. He subbed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that guy. He's like one guy. But the one guy, what he said to praise I am guys. Oh, that made me sick. Yeah. Huh? That makes you a woman, Mark? What?
I don't know.
Oh, weak vessel, he said.
Yeah. Silly guy. Hey, we got Big Bad Mama.
Hi, Big Bad
Big
Mama.
Bad Mama.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
How goes it?
Pretty
How are you
good.
today?
I am still waking up,
I saw
but
that
I'm good.
video you showed me about that was funny.
The one with Dustin,
Yeah,
I thought you'd like that.
that was funny. Did they still have that other video they were talking about?
I looked for it briefly, and I couldn't find where they were talking about. I found where Lupin was actually on the video, so I assumed it was, he was live. So I assumed it was after that, but I couldn't. They probably cut it out somehow and
Yeah,
posted it after that.
yeah, that's crazy. Wow, that was messed up.
Yeah, that's a horrible thing to do.
Do you
Right.
think I think it might be the news guy because I saw that video. What he said about praise I am and Shalom guy.
Oh yeah, news unit went off on Praise I Am.
Yeah,
Right.
Pretty nasty.
yeah.
When was that?
I have no idea. I found it on Praise I Am show.
They're
Gotcha.
feuding for sure. especially the dude and news unit can't stand each other.
Oh well. Too bad for them.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I could care less. But I mean, whoever did that to Lupin and to praise his show that's a despicable act.
Oh, could it have been Brett Kane?
I mean, we have to look at the people that have done that in the past, right? And who have a record of it.
Brett Kane.
Yeah. But that guy news unit seems like he could do something like that.
Yeah. He's a bit out there. He's friends with Lupin, so there's that.
Yeah, I don't know why he would do that to Lupin. I can't really figure that out.
Yeah. Probably he was
I
mad
mean, they were
at-
just on each other's show. I'm sorry, Logan.
Oh,
Go
that's
ahead.
right. Maybe he was mad at him for going on there.
Maybe.
Oh. Yeah.
What do you think?
Lupin
Better
said
the drama
something
over there
that show,
than
too.
here.
That's the show where Lupin wanted me to get my daughter to give him a massage. I think.
Right.
That was that news unit show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know that was a news unit stream, but it was on Lupin's. It was on Lupin's channel. I guess he was pirating the stream like he always does.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
He
And
did.
News Unit used to be on Praise's show like as a regular.
Oh yeah.
So something bad happened there.
Oh, and what was I say? Yeah. He also did the same with the stream last night when he was on the PGs.
He did what
Who was
now?
on the PTs?
Lupin, he streaming on his channel too.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's gonna do that to the wrong person one of these days, and they're gonna get upset and copyright strike him. I would if he tried to steal my streams. I mean, it's one thing.
Yeah, I mean, if he asked them and it was okay, then that's
well,
fine.
yeah,
But
yeah. There's that, but
he's
it's one
he's
thing.
done it before where he hasn't asked.
Yeah, it's one thing to be on somebody's stream, ask if you can share it, and then restream it that way. But it's a whole nother thing to just come in, hit the restream button in the StreamYard
Yeah.
or the restream, and then disappear like Lupin does.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That was crazy last night. And Achilles, he said that he's ready for that debate Saturday.
Yeah, Achilles and I are gonna have a part 2.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, and multiple.
that'll be interesting.
And that guy came on there, MC. That guy's messed up. What he's hate on Jewish people like that. He's very anti-Semitic.
Who was it?
This guy who came on their show last night, the PG show, MC guy.
Yeah, he was on there talking about how the Jews think that everybody that's not Jewish are animals, just being generally anti-Semitic.
Yeah, it's messed up.
I mean, didn't Lupin kind of do something similar?
Yeah, Lupin was like, "Hey, it's not that we don't agree with you; it's that we might get in trouble." Wink, wink.
It was Achilles.
Right. I remember that conversation that Lupin had with Mark Reed, where Mark Reed was there. I don't know who else was there, but I think they had to kind of cut Lupin off because of his remarks. You remember that, Mark?
Not really.
Lupin made what could be perceived as anti-Semitic remarks about genocide and stuff like that. And
Oh yeah.
It was on Father Chuck's show.
Father Chuck show. And wasn't Mark Reed there, Logan?
Yep, he was talking to Mark Reed.
Right.
Missing Mod said she's going to do a flat Earth stream.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's probably going to fall flat.
I'll get my questions together.
Is flat Earth still like a thing? Like people are still actually believing that? I thought it was phasing out.
Go to modern day debate when they have a flat Earth debate and see how many people are watching.
Oh my
The
goodness.
most.
And the only reason I ever watch a flat Earth debate is to laugh. It's entertaining to watch
Yeah,
people
I mean,
say
it's a.
stupid stuff that makes no sense.
I mean, I don't want to use it like a derogatory term with it, but it's a. I'm not even going to say it.
Say it.
No, I'm not going to say it. If it was your show, I would say it.
It's a comedy. It's a comedy.
It's comedy, right?
Yeah. Like, I wonder if they're like actually believing the Earth is like this flat plane, or if they're just trolling. I get the feeling that some of them are trolling, but
Yeah,
like I'm not so sure with all of
I
them.
think it's both.
I think the missing mods out there are serious about it, but there are some trolls for sure.
What about Achilles?
You know, I don't think Achilles even knows where he stands.
What about
Oh,
Well,
he knows a lot of. I mean, he's
but didn't
put a lot of astronomy into his flat Earth ideas.
he say he wasn't a flat Earth anymore?
I,
But he went back.
I
I
don't
don't
think he
know.
was serious. I think he's still a flat earther. And, you know, I agree that some of them just like the idea that they believe something different from the mainstream and they like the community part of it. But then I definitely believe that there are others that believe it because they are like super Bible literalists. I mean,
Yeah.
they look at those passages as their source. And then, you know, they
Bible's
work
not
up
an
from there.
astronomy book. You know?
Yeah.
It's not a math textbook. It's not a science book. It's not an astronomy. It's theology and history and poetry. It's not science. Hey, TKA, the Kentucky Atheist is backstage. Logan, you're going to have to let him in. I've got my hands full.
Hi,
Hi,
Joe.
Hey, what's up?
how are you
Hey,
today?
hey.
How you doing?
Doing all right? How's it going?
Oh, it's going. We're just having a congratulatory 100 subscriber stream for our buddy Gangster Ghost over here.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
And good to see
Congratulations.
your
milestone.
video did so well, Joe.
What was that big bad one?
Good to see that your Matt Dillahunty video is doing really well.
Yeah, that it was a lot of fun. You know, and I knew Matt would bring an audience, but it felt like the video just went really well, and it was a great conversation, and Matt seemed to have fun with it, and it was a good time.
Yeah, that
Cool.
was a good stream. It really
Thank you.
was. I loved his beard. That thing is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I paid $2 just so I could tell him that.
yeah.
Probably cheaper than getting a speaking engagement from him.
Well, I mean, if you wanted him to show up at an event, I imagine that would cost you. But I
Well,
just
yeah.
emailed him and asked him to come on my channel, and he said yes, like immediately.
Oh, that's cool.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Same with Aaron Raw. I just sent an email, and he said okay.
Yeah, I had Aaron on my channel not too long ago having a discussion with Christian Pike. That was really interesting.
I haven't got around to watching that video yet. Yesterday I actually worked from 9 a.m. till 7, and then cleaned up real quick and set up real fast, and got on the stream with Matt. And as soon as that was over, I fell asleep.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I worked really, really hard yesterday. My boss or partner, whatever you want to call him, technically he's my partner, but he's an ex-pastor, and so he worked the piss out of me yesterday because he knew I was talking to Matt.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And he knew who he was and stuff.
yeah. He doesn't really care much for what I do, but you know, fuck him.
Well, you do all sorts of stuff. You don't just talk about atheism. And
No, I try to explain that. He doesn't really watch my videos, but I tried to explain, like, it's not a problem with people who believe. It's exposing the bad things that people do in the name of God.
Yeah.
And I know some Christians would say that those people aren't Christians. And you know, that's fine, whatever. I ain't gonna get into that. But you know, so it's not about it's not about saying, oh, believing's bad and God bad and all that. It's about trying to make the world better, not worse.
Right. And not
And
giving up on it like a lot of Christians have.
yeah, that's true
Oh,
too.
the
I
end
mean,
is coming. Jesus is coming back.
well,
Why do anything productive at all?
I kind of contend that each Christian believes something different than the next.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so whenever you have that, you get a lot of individuals that follow their individual wants and needs, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's going to look different in every one you look at, which is what makes it really interesting for me to talk to theists, because each one is going to say something different. And occasionally, like, I worry when I have a theist that I haven't talked too much on, because you don't know what they're going to say. You don't know. I'm not saying all theists are crazy, but occasionally there's this point where, like, it just takes a hard right and goes into crazy town. And especially on YouTube, you know.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's whatever.
Yeah, some of them embrace conspiracies. I've seen.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to watch what direction they're going, because you don't want anything too out there on your channel, and they could just spout it like, they're
But
talking about an everyday event, and to them it is an everyday event in their head, but
I,
to us it sounds, wacky.
yeah. Well,
What's
I
the
also
wackiest thing?
demonstrated this past week that it's not just atheists that do that, or theists that do that. I had an
Right.
atheist come on that ended up with some views that are not great, and so it's not just theists. It's
It's a people
you
problem.
yeah, you're dealing with individuals, and you don't know, like, just like, especially with atheists, we all agree that we reject the idea that a God exists, but we don't, that doesn't tell you anything about the person other than that. So
Right.
you never know what you're going to run into. It's interesting though.
So what's the
Yeah,
wackiest
definitely.
thing you've ever heard somebody say? Theist. Oh, yeah, from a believer's perspective.
The wackiest thing a believer has said.
Yeah.
Well, on my YouTube channel, the wackiest thing I have to say would be Daniel trying to justify that killing children is good, and but in a wider thing, because I talked to him on Facebook and everything. A QAnon believer talking about the uh, the Catholic Church and people drinking adrenochrome
That's
and
what I was going to say.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That
People
QAnon
thinking
stuff
that
is nuts.
Democrats are harvesting adrenochrome. And also, there was the whole movement of people who went to Dallas because they thought JFK was going to resurrect in
Yeah,
Dallas. Do you remember that?
yeah, yeah. That was wacky.
But JFK was going to resurrect that? When was that?
Right before the last election, wasn't it? Or
Oh my goodness, that's
Yeah,
crazy. What
right before the midterms. Yeah.
and like what kind of people were these theists or were these atheists or were they just a group of
they were
Well,
theists for the
yeah.
crazy
most part,
people?
I think.
QAnon
QAnon.
is majority theists.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It was pure QAnon
Matt
yeah.
Powell was
people.
big into the QAnon stuff.
Who?
Matt Powell was big
Oh,
into the
Matt Powell.
QAnon
Yeah,
stuff.
I
Yeah.
could see that.
It's okay to, like, when you first hear some idea that's extreme, to not necessarily buy into it, but to think, oh well, you know maybe they're onto something here. But that's when it's on you to check that. And
Yeah.
yeah, whenever I first started watching YouTube a lot, one of the first things and Flat Earth was big then. um I seen a Flat Earth video. I forget who it was by, but I was like, hey, that kind of makes a little bit of sense at first, and then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, there's no way that doesn't, what they're saying makes sense, if you're just looking at it, but when you look at the bigger picture, it doesn't fit. And that was that was interesting. So people buy into conspiracy theories, but when you buy into a conspiracy theory, then it's on you to say, do I look silly for believing this thing is true? Is there any truth to it? What are the facts about this, conspiracy?
Yeah, I mean, flat Earth is a conspiracy, and as an atheist, I would consider creationism as a conspiracy as well.
I do too.
And I'd say atheism is a conspiracy.
Right.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's a harmful one by any means. I mean, in the Christian perspective, being an atheist is only harmful to yourself.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
but that's your opinion about it. There's a lot of Christians that, use the term demons or devils to describe us atheists.
Oh, I got called a demon today by Lupin. Like that really means anything, but
yeah.
coming from the guy that wants children to give him foot massages, creepy. But I'm the demon and the
I
weak
think when
vessel, whatever that means.
Wesley dropped in one of my streams, that was a bit
Wesley
of
Curry?
of a crazy moment. Yeah.
You know about Wesley Curry?
Oh yeah.
He gave me
Vision.
the nickname Darth Kermit, and it kind of stuck. I've
Yeah,
got a
the vision.
channel, my game channel. Yeah.
He said,
Yeah, that's the
you've seen this
craziest.
in a dream 1,000 times and don't know where it comes from, and I'm going to show it to you now. And it was like some picture.
Yep. Wesley Curry II is definitely the craziest thing I've ever heard from theists. He told me that I was gonna. Oh yeah, he's schizophrenic. He's admitted.
And a musical genius.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
and he's
awesome.
lived quite a storied life too. It's very interesting to hear his story.
Big Bad Mama. You got to watch my interview.
Yeah, Big Bad Mama did an awesome interview with him. Kept him pretty much calm, but even there at the end, he said, "You're going to eat your children."
Right.
It's like he was so calm, cool, mild-mannered, collected, all that during the stream, and then the very end, it's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna sell your kids. They're gonna grind them up and feed them back to you."
See, that's the thing I mean. You just never know what may be said. Like it's.
But yeah, Wesley
I'm
takes
trying
the
to
cake
watch
for me.
chat, guys. I can't talk and watch chat. Azo knows this.
Yeah, I saw him say that they're getting ignored out there, and I put it up, but I'm driving.
I see Azo and Missing Mod out there, and both of you guys know that I love you guys, so you're not. And Missing Mod, yeah, I seen the coffee thing, and thanks for coming to the stream last night. It was really fun. Was my thing about it. Like I love that it got subs and got a ton of views and all that, but I had a lot of fun talking to Matt. Just talking. It wasn't scripted out. I didn't even write down the questions. Just had fun talking.
Well, I think you said that when you first started becoming an atheist, that you started watching the atheist. Correct me if I'm wrong. You started watching the Atheist Experience, and Matt was an influence on you.
Oh yeah. Matt was the first one that, because when I watched the first debates and stuff I watched was like Hitchens and Dawkins, Lawrence Krauss. When those debates were real popular, Stephen Fry. I watched a lot of that stuff, and that gave me the point of view of just how silly and harmful I thought the position was of Christianity, especially. And then whenever I started watching Matt, I seen Matt and Art on the Atheist Experience, and Matt really introduced me to thinking through questions logically. And that's been that philosophy, although a lot of atheists say I don't want to get into a philosophy conversation or whatever, it's because those usually aren't really philosophy conversations. It's what I call bastardized philosophy. But
like precept stuff, you mean?
Yeah. And whenever you actually, because philosophy is a major thing for real. I mean, technically, it's all your decisions are made using some kind of philosophy, but whenever you apply the laws of logic to whatever question, and then walk through it in a logical sense, it's a really helpful tool, and it's the basis of pretty much what most atheists do on the internet. So Matt was a huge influence, and watching his debates, I learned so many things about stuff. One of my favorite debates with Matt Dillahunty is a lesser known one. Him talking to Mike Winger, when Mike Winger was talking about the resurrection, and Matt really just showed the flaws in his logic there, and for me that was just like, I get it now. I get how to do this. So yeah, Matt's been huge. Now Aaron has more experience with the young Earth creationist side of things, and Aaron has been a big influence because we both lived that same kind of life, surrounded by young Earth creationists, the schools telling you the stuff is true and all that. And so even though Aaron has more of a don't give a shit approach to it, like I kind of feel like that's how some ideas should be treated. And I try to be, kind and nice to the people that come on. But sometimes, you have to shut down bad ideas in whatever way is most effective.
Yeah, I think Aaron is definitely really good with the science part of it, and maybe
Oh,
not
God,
so much on the philosophy end. But I really think that if you have a solid grasp of scientific knowledge in various scientific disciplines like geology, genetics, cosmology, the less you need to know of the philosophic side of it, because you have the actual empirical evidence.
yeah,
And
yeah, no, I
I would
agree.
say, Aaron is excellent at that, in particular with the geology material that he does.
Yeah, he is excellent. He's
He's an educator.
very, very intelligent and a great science communicator. Yeah.
I don't think I've watched much of Aaron's stuff.
You'll learn something.
I'm sure. I've learned a
His
lot just
theory,
hanging out with the folks that I hang out with. I'm always learning.
He does an audio version of his book, Foundational Falsehoods of Creationism, and it's him that narrates it. And if you hold a young Earth creationist view, I suggest you listen to that book and uh, try and reconcile the things he says, because he uses things you can't deny to look at young Earth creationism, and I think it's an excellent source of knowledge.
I have to give it to Mark that he knows about evolution, and he's able to steel man the evolutionist position.
Yeah,
Unlike other creationists who basically use either Hovind or Ham or one of these guys' interpretations, as opposed to actually looking at the scientist's information itself.
yeah,
Well, actually, I actually believe in evolution. I just don't believe the aspects of origins that
right.
come along with it. And I know abiogenesis isn't necessarily part of evolution, but it has to start somewhere. And I just happen to believe that God was the uncaused first cause,
Right.
the ultimate
The
mover.
so whenever did I don't want to have an argument about it, but let me just address why we differ there.
Let's go.
Um,
Gloves off.
yeah,
Hoo-ha!
yeah. Glove up. But so whenever you look at abiogenesis, there is a mechanism that can explain life, and abiogenesis isn't actually one thing. There's several different versions of abiogenesis that could explain how life started, and it doesn't have to even be one of those. It could have been multiple um, ways that it started. Life could have started more than once, and with abiogenesis, there is evidence that it could be a possibility. Now, it's not proven. And one of the big things that's always said is they haven't reproduced it in a lab, which I don't know that that's even necessary. But um, the the thing with it is there is evidence that it could occur. And whenever you look at, okay, well, maybe a god did it. Sure, there's a philosophical way you can get there, but um, whenever you say which one of these two things, and they're not the only two things, but just comparing those two, when you say which one of these two things is probably the case, um, for me, I don't lean to the supernatural. I would say, well, there's evidence, and this seems to be, the best explanation. Whereas if I were defer to a god, it doesn't give any explanation at all. It just says, I don't know, God did it. And that's my issue with taking that position.
And
Well, it's
where
not
do
an
you?
I don't know though, and really, it's both sides are. It's we don't know. We don't absolutely know. It's what we believe. If abiogenesis was backed by science, then yeah, I'd certainly give it another thought. But it's not testable, demonstrable, or repeatable.
Well,
It's
that's
it's a
when,
theory, but on the other hand, neither is God.
right. And it's not, God isn't testable, and all those things. So
Yeah.
since we don't know, instead of a belief, I choose to go with what is probably true from the information I can gather. And it seems that there's no way to assess whether it's a god or not, other than I believe it's a god. So for me, that's just not a useful hypothesis.
Well, have you read the
It,
Gospels by chance?
Of course,
Matthew, any of them?
I've read them all many times.
Okay, cool.
let me jump in here.
Yeah.
I've
Jump,
seen
jump.
I've I've seen God put in at several stages though. I've seen God put in at the Big Bang, for example, and he's the prime mover that pushes the Big Bang, and then everything develops from there naturally. And I've
Yeah.
seen it God put in at the abiogenesis stage where he creates the first cell, and then things develop from there. And then
Right.
I've seen it where God is put in at special creation, and then things go from there. And Mark, I would say that you're probably in that third camp because
Yeah.
you believe that the kinds were specially created, and then they underwent microevolution, maybe macroevolution, but within the same kind. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, I fall in line more with cladistics. So, uh, where I would differ from that is the first living organism. I believe there were kinds, but they have developed from that base, that basal kind,
Yeah.
from just a plain Jane human being, Adam and Eve or whatever, and then now we have goodness, how many different ethnicities, races? There's a lot.
Well,
And
what we call
we're
races
all
now aren't actually races.
right, right. But we don't have any like morphological changes, but we do have such a huge variety that really the only explanation that I can fathom is evolution, whether it be micro, and it would be micro in humans case, but for as far as macroevolution, I don't know. I've seen a
You
little bit on speciation. I'm still looking for the morphological changes and how they occurred. But
you
yeah,
you
I absolutely believe that things do evolve over time. They
you
change
don't
and
accept deep
adapt.
time though, correct?
Not in the sense that it's a literal deep time. I believe the whole of the creation was made fully mature as if it had already been through deep time.
Yeah.
So, Mark, is it possible that Adam and Eve were some sort of more basal type of primate?
Yeah, well, we are primates, so
Well,
there's
I
that.
mean, like we were Australopithecines or something. Adam and Eve were.
That's possible. Some form of hominid for sure. Yeah. Were they Homo sapiens sapiens? I don't know. I mean, the Bible doesn't use that kind of language. But yeah, I mean, it's obvious. You go from 2 people to 8 billion people, and now not one of us look alike. We all have, well, except for like twins, identical twins and whatnot. But from black hair to red hair and everything in between, blue eyes, green eyes, brown eyes, yellow eyes. Yeah, I mean that didn't just for no reason. I mean, it's evolution that has pushed that the differences we see even in the human race. And I just think it's funny though, because there is so much variety in the humankind, race, species, what have you. But when you look at animals, it's at least the ones that we haven't artificially selected for certain traits, you don't get that kind of variety. Like you go look at a white-tailed deer, the only real difference is going to be the number of antlers it has, the number of points it has on its rack. And
Well, what
lions,
about a lion and a tiger, for example?
yeah, that would be another. Yeah, sure, but there's still
So,
lions and tigers. You know?
so some of the basic principles of evolution, stasis is a thing that occurs. So like, deer are evolved for the environment that deer live in, and since well, let's just like deer normally live in wooded areas where they have places to bed down, and they eat almost anything. So there isn't really an environmental pressure for deer to evolve morphologically.
Yeah.
But with stasis being, it's one of the main principles of evolution, and deep time as well. And it's so I mean, the fact that you don't see those changes in nature actually supports evolution over a long period of time, because unless the environments change, there's no pressure for the for evolution to cause major changes in those species.
Well, environments do change all the time,
Right.
sometimes rapidly.
And what
And
happens when
species
that
go
happens?
extinct.
Yeah, they die. And the species that are able to
They adapt or die.
and survive in that environment continue. But
Yeah.
like, if you want to see major changes like to that species because an environment changed rapidly, it's going to take a long period of time, because the mutations don't occur at a rate that would allow for them to change rapidly. Now, there are situations to where it seems like rapid evolution is possible and even suggested, but
Yeah, punctuated equilibrium.
yes.
That's I kind of believe in that too.
Yeah.
Oh, hi everybody! I guess you joined us.
Hi, Deviant.
Okay.
You're actually the person I wanted to talk to, Deviant.
Deviant Outcast, hey.
Are you going to do a show with me tomorrow at 7? 7 my time.
Are you there, Miss Outcast?
Hi.
Hello. Now we hear you.
Oh. Hey. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. So I was a bit. Yes. What time is that? Oh, so wait. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 second. I
It
forgot
is
I had the stream
noon.
on.
Well, not quite noon. It's 11:45
in the
here,
background.
so
Now I
it
don't
would
have to
be.
hear all of our conversation twice.
Yes.
Yeah, your time. Which time zone is that?
Eastern
Eastern.
time zone.
So it's 2 hours.
Hello?
3 hour difference. It's a 3 hour difference.
You're 3 hours ahead of me, aren't you?
Right.
Is that too late? I can do it earlier.
What happened to my sound? Something
Uh-oh.
happened to my sound.
Hello?
There.
Hello.
There we go. Yes.
Are
For
you
some
there?
reason, yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
No.
Good. Mark, stop
third place.
messing with my brain.
My bad.
Yes. Sorry, there you. Which time zone is it?
Eastern time zone.
Okay, I have a converter here. You see. Wait, Eastern. Is that the same as Mark?
No, I'm Pacific.
Ah,
Same as
you
me.
and you.
Yeah, same as
Oh.
Gigi.
Oh, okay. So that's 6 hours. So that's 1 a.m. my time.
Would you like me to do it earlier so it's not so late for you? Would you like to do it at like 2 p.m. my time?
Aren't you always awake at 1 a.m.?
Well, I usually am. I usually am. My brain tends to work the best around this time.
And what time is it now where you are?
It's almost 9 o'clock.
PM?
There.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how about we do 2 p.m. tomorrow?
Yeah, sure.
My time. So it would be what, 8 o'clock
8.
your time?
Yeah,
You want to do that?
yeah. That sounds perfect.
Okay. I'll see you
Cool.
there then. I'll email you the link, okay?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Goody.
Sorry, I had to finish setting that up, guys.
Yeah,
No
because
problem. No problem
I'm
at
the
all.
worst when it comes to reconnecting via mail. I am
I
officially
see you,
the
Azza.
worst.
Yep. How many months did it take you to respond to my email?
Well, I didn't know you had emailed me. Okay,
You
and then
gave me your email. What do you mean you didn't know I emailed you?
yeah.
It's okay. We figured all that out now.
Technically, we were in mid conversation and you quit answering me. So,
Oh
Oh yeah,
no.
that's
no.
that's
Actually, I think I
business
said
as
I would get
usual.
back to you, and it was like 2 days later before I figured it
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
if well, see, Azo64 that's in chat is my co-host and my partner on the channel, and he has access to everything as well: the email, the calendar, the channel, everything. And
okay.
so I have to make sure that I confer with him before I go and make plans because he's trying to do the same thing to get guests and stuff. But I really wanted to make sure I had you on this week before the Orange show because
Yeah.
some of it's going to apply to that show. And so that's why I wanted to
I
talk
see.
to you
No,
specifically this week.
I really hope I won't let you down.
You couldn't. If no productive information came from the conversation whatsoever, we'll still get to talk about some stuff and get to know each other. And I'm always wanting to meet other people that are creators and or just part of the community. So it'll be good either way because
Good.
I'll get to know you, so will my audience, and we'll talk about some cool stuff, and it'll be fun.
Yes.
Nice.
And I'm always up for talking about Egypt.
Sweet.
Yes.
It'll be a jolly good time.
Oh yes.
I think I'm going to put together an argument um, to where I take the position that the Christian God does not exist. And I think I can show that. Um,
Well, you're talking about Egypt. Why don't you put together an argument that the
no,
Egyptian
no, no,
gods
no,
don't exist?
not for that show. I'm saying overall, I'm trying to put
Oh,
that
I
together.
gotcha. Gotcha.
I think
Like Horus, who is that guy?
everybody's probably heard of like divine hiddenness, the problem of evil, things like that. Well, there's also one that applies to deception, and if you use deception along with those other things, I think you can. I think
What
the
is the
argument can be made.
what are the problems? You said problems of
Problem of
divine,
evil, divine hiddenness,
divine hiddenness, evil, and deception.
deception. Yeah.
It sounds like you're talking about Satan.
Well, part of that is it. You can it's Satan does play into it. So
Satan's a loser. He lost. He lost. And
the
to the victor go the spoils.
so the divine hiddenness, are you familiar with that?
Nope.
So divine hiddenness is a simple way to say it would be if the God of the Bible exists, and you can apply this to other gods as well, but if the God of the Bible exists, we would expect to see certain things, and we don't see those things. So,
Such as
um, we don't see the supernatural events. We don't see God acting in any way. We don't experience God in any way that is substantive. Um, if there is a all powerful being that loves us, you would expect to see that being act in ways that supports that. And you
well,
just
when you say loves us, are you talking about humanity as like the corporate body of humanity, like all of us? Because I don't agree with that. I mean, the Bible says that God's angry at the wicked all day, every day. He hates certain things: hands that shed innocent blood, lips that lie, feet that are swift to carry out harm. I paraphrasing here, obviously, but God isn't just an all loving. I mean, he is all loving, but he's not only all loving. He also has divine hatred, divine wrath, divine judgment.
well, those things are divine wrath would be a contradiction to omnibenevolence.
What is omnibenevolence? I've never heard that
All
before.
loving.
Well, I know what I know what the word means, but I've never heard that from serious Bible scholars. Just these
Right.
hucksters that are trying to push their ministries to get more donations.
Well,
God loves everybody all the
here's
same. No, we
so
don't.
I do when Bible scholars are speaking on things to do with the Bible, like factual information out of the Bible, because there is some factual information in the Bible.
Oh yeah.
When they're speaking on those sort of things, it's that's valuable information. But when we're talking about something that isn't, it's an idea that applies to the Bible. A Bible scholar is no different than anyone else in that situation. I mean, they're knowledgeable of the Bible, but also when a Bible scholar is a believer, there's certain things that they're accepting before they make that argument or have that discussion, and it's so that doesn't always. So what I'm saying is that's more outside of a biblical scholar's field of study, and it's more of it is a philosophical question, but it's not something that a Bible scholar would necessarily address because it's not within their field.
Omnibenevolence.
No, omnibenevolence is what
Well,
I'm
that's what we were
saying.
talking about, right?
Right. I'm saying that omnibenevolence is not something that we see. It's and something Robin pointed out about the suffering and things that go on in the world, and this leads back into the problem of evil, and an all loving God. That's contradictory to that idea.
But you're straw manning God. He's not just an all loving God. He does have
Well,
divine wrath, divine vengeance, divine judgment, all these things.
omnibenevolence is absolute.
There is no omnibenevolence when talking
Oh,
about
I
the God of the
agree.
Bible. It doesn't exist. It's not a tenet of the Christian faith. I mean, yeah, you'll hear people say God is all love and all this, but they completely neglect his other characteristics.
All right. I believe
So,
that everyone defines God into existence in their own way. That everybody has their own individual idea of God. Omnibenevolence is just one of those things that comes up quite often. Is why I pointed to it. I don't think that it's a thing either. I don't think that like whenever it says God is perfectly merciful and perfectly just, I don't think that those two things can occur at the same time.
well,
Um,
mercy is not injustice. It's mercy. They're two different things.
well,
You
you
can be
can't.
just and merciful at the same time.
Oh, you can, but you can't be perfectly merciful and perfectly just at the same time.
Why not?
You're
They're
either
not mutually
merciful.
exclusive.
You're either merciful if you give mercy, you're undercutting just, right? Because you're not going with what's just. You're going with something less because you're being merciful. That's
Well, then, I mean,
and if you're doing
any
what's
degree
just,
of
you're not showing any mercy.
but any degree of punishment that's less than death would be unjust in that mindset.
You think that death is a deserving punishment for all crimes?
Well, I mean, death is the deserving punishment for life. I mean, we all get that. We're all going to die. Not to quote Hovind, but it is true.
A punishment for life? Why does life deserve to be punished?
Because we're born into original sin. We're born into Adam in his
Oh,
curse. And it's only when we take on the federal headship of Jesus Christ that we're no longer subject to God's wrath, which
but
is eternal separation from him.
but doesn't the Bible say two different things about that? That
No.
we're born into original sin, and then later God says that the sins of the father are not the sins of the son.
Yeah, that's talking about a very specific group of people there. As far as original sin goes, every man, and when I say man, I'm talking about women and children too. Every man is corrupted. That's what we inherited from Adam is corruption. But Jesus came and lived a perfect life and died as a perfect sacrifice to overcome that corruption. And
That corruption is something that's in the soul, though. It's not a genetic thing.
well, yeah, it's not a genetic thing at all. No, but
Right.
it is part of our essence. We are all imperfect. I mean, there's no such thing as perfection in this world.
Well, that's because okay, so perfection is, ideally, you look at yourself and any flaw that you have, you look at correcting those flaws as perfection. But those flaws are subjective for the most part. I mean, there is no objective corruption. There is no that perfection is just an idea of better than I am.
Perfect is
Where
perfect. I
does
mean, there's really
perfection
no
exist in nature?
exactly. That was my point. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It doesn't
Well,
exist.
that's what I'm saying. It's an idea, but it can't exist, and not in nature anyway.
Well, I mean, there are not in nature, sure, but there are some things. 1 + 1 = 2. That's perfect, but it's conceptual. It's not empirical. I mean, they're numbers, but you can't actually put an empirical value on a number because numbers
Well,
are imaginary.
math is a language. That's like A plus A is B. It's just the language that we use to explain the
Yeah,
things that we experience.
it's a construct. It's
Right. Yeah, it's a
it
construct.
works. It works perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with math, but when it comes down to it, it's not real. It's not tangible. It's not something that we can handle and touch and feel and smell or
So then
measure.
1 + 1 =
But
2 is not perfect.
we use it. No, it is. It is. But we use it to understand why things are the way they are and how they are the way they are to be able to quantify them.
Yeah,
But
but
the number one itself is not a real thing. It's just a representative of something else.
then it's not perfect.
but it is perfect
If
because
it's
it's
not
never
a real
wrong.
thing, how can it achieve perfection?
Every single time you add 1 to 1, you're going to get 2 because the way math is, it's static. It doesn't
Yeah.
change. It's perfect. Things that change are imperfect. Things that stay the same and never change would be considered perfection because there's no
Well,
need to change.
perfection is again, it's a subjective idea. So it's not,
No,
you're always gonna look at something and say it could be better, to make it perfect. And what you accept as perfect is just what you know. There's, yeah, the unknown doesn't apply there. So it leaves perfect empty. Perfect is just an idea of something that's unachievable.
well, if you get a perfect score on a math test, that is an objective score. If you get a perfect grade on a research paper, that is subjective to the
Right.
grader.
But
In math, it's not subjective to anything but
the
math itself.
the word perfect is used there to describe those things. But I mean, I guess,
What
like,
about dude perfect?
if you're asking somebody to like, I want you to say the word the, and you say the, and I say you did it perfect. I mean, I guess there's that, but like, as far as in
Wait, did you
nature
mean
and
the?
in reality, without applying it to some intangible thing,
Sure.
so man would never be able to achieve perfection, with or without a god.
Mm,
Throwing a god into that situation doesn't change anything.
well, I wasn't saying that it did.
Well, I mean, that's back to like, nobody's perfect anyway. So
Sure.
original sin doesn't, like, it's, there's no reason to think that that's like, you're, whenever you apply it, you're just adding things to it. And instead of saying, well, we're a social species and these things that we do and the evil that occurs are a result of the individuals in this social species doing evil things, and
Do you
that,
believe in evil?
not in a religious sense, no, but I have things I call evil. I think it's evil to things with children, and I think it's,
Yeah.
there's, but I don't think it's an objective evil. I think it's objective. Well, objective and subjective, I have a different view on that than most atheists, because I believe objective morals do exist, but not in the way that theists believe they exist. Um, if we agree that
So
healing
what is
people,
what would be the
huh?
standard? What would be your standard? If it's objective, there has to be like a standard, right? So you have to be this tall to ride, right? That's a standard.
Well, like,
Um,
our laws are objective because we've decided they are what they are and agreed on them, and those are the laws. So our laws are objective. And if you're saying what's right or wrong by the law, then that is objective because we've agreed on a set of laws. If we're
are all
playing
laws
chess,
moral?
no, no.
Okay.
If we're playing chess and we agree on a set of rules, those are the objective rules for that game of chess. So I believe objective
Yeah.
morals can exist in that way, because killing people is harmful for the human species. We're a social species, and just murdering people is harmful to us as a species. So it is objectively wrong in that sense. But like, from a moral of how you feel about it sense, there's no such thing. It doesn't.
So you're putting objectivity on the law, but then you say that not all laws are moral, but your standard for morality is the law. That is a
No, no, no,
circle
no,
and a
no.
half right there.
My standard for morality has nothing to do with the law. I was just using that to explain objectivity, because um, if I was just using that to explain, we've decided these are the laws and we've set these things. We have representatives and everybody has voted on this, and these are the laws. It's objectively a law. It's objectively illegal to murder people. That's true. But
Why?
the question of whether it's moral or not, I wasn't even asking that there. I was just talking about
Okay.
objectivity.
I got you.
I believe we have lots of laws that are immoral.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Got to work on them. You can't even carry a ice cream cone in your back pocket on a Sunday in Alabama. My goodness, what is this world going to? Can't stick
Yeah.
a penny in your ear either. Ugh. All the things I want to do are illegal.
Yeah.
That's not true. Oh man.
So as you're a Bible literalist, right?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So,
No,
but the
the Bible can't possibly be interpreted entirely literally. There's no way. It would make no sense.
Do you think that if God orders something that is normally immoral, like you know, the murder of children, if God orders it, is it then okay because God ordered it?
God doesn't order people to murder children. That
Which
happened
he sure does in the
long
Bible.
ago and far away. Well, yeah, that was way back in the past. That was in the old covenant,
But
the old
was it
Testament days. We live
immoral
under
of God to do that?
No, absolutely not. God is the moral standard. He
So
is
then
the one that
there
sets the
are
law.
no
The law,
objective morals.
if your commander in the military tells you to shoot up a village and you disobey, you go to the brig. If you
Right.
do it and then kill children,
No,
nothing happens.
Is do not murder a
there is
law
actually
in the Ten
protection.
Commandments?
There is actually protection where a soldier is obligated to go against a command that is, quote unquote, immoral.
Well, notice how I didn't say that the commander told you to shoot up a bunch of kids. He's saying, we're taking contact from this village. Take it down. That's a command I've actually received.
So if
in real
civilians
life.
die during that, is that immoral?
Absolutely.
Collateral damage?
But who does that fall on?
It doesn't have to fall on anyone. I'm just saying, is it immoral that those people are killed? It's not there. You don't have to point the finger at a single person. The thing I'm getting at
War
here
is immoral, if you ask me.
Sure. The thing I'm pointing at here is God says do not murder, right? But in some cases, God directed people to murder.
No,
and it was okay to do that, right?
It was justified. Like when
okay,
he sent,
when you can say
God
it's
sent
justified.
the Israelites to destroy the Canaanites, they were committing child sacrifices anyway. So these kids were doomed
you know my feelings
from the
on
beginning.
That. If they were sacrificing a couple kids or sacrificing children, every day, God put a stop to it by killing all the kids.
Killing everybody was what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And they failed. They didn't do that.
But so doesn't that tell you that morals are subjective? Because God can decide at times when not to kill people doesn't apply, and it's okay for you to kill people. Doesn't that make it completely subjective?
Doesn't the government kill people?
That's whataboutism.
Death penalty? Well, yeah, sure it is, but it's a legitimate point because we're talking about the authority. We're talking about authority here. The one that's in authority isn't under their authority. That would be a contradiction.
Right.
So what we're ultimately talking
God
about
directs
is the
man
authority
to kill
to do
people.
so.
Did God put those,
with
were
his
those
authority
people sinning when they killed people for God?
He has the authority to tell people to do such things.
Right.
We don't.
So it's subjective.
We don't.
It doesn't always apply. It has to be subjective if it doesn't apply in all situations.
God's not subjected to our moral standards.
Right, but he directed people to do the murder.
And if they had disobeyed, like I was giving the military example, if they disobeyed, they'd be in for it.
Right.
When I was in combat, if I refused to fight, I'd go to the brig. I'd probably get shot for desertion, actually.
Yeah, maybe. But what I'm saying I'm not saying it applies to God. I'm saying if God directed those people to go kill these other tribes that had done nothing to them, but they were sinning against God, was it a sin when the Hebrews killed those people?
No, the sin was that they didn't kill everybody like they were told to.
So that means that God's law his set of commandments and morals are subjective and they can change.
No.
God demonstrates in that if you give that, all that happened, God demonstrates that morals are not objective, and they're up
God
to the
is not
decision of
subjective.
God. And if God
Yeah,
can
they're up to God's
decide to do
discretion, of course.
differently, if God can decide to do differently, then it has to be subjective.
Subjective to what? To God.
Well, okay, so objective
It's
would
subjective
be
to us, for sure.
that it doesn't matter what anybody thinks or what any mind has to say about it. It holds in all situations. And then subjective would be
No,
that,
that's consistency.
right, consistency is
Objective
part.
is dealing with like
Objectiveness is consistency. It's always applies. Subjectiveness is whenever you can change your mind, or there can be a reason to that it doesn't hold. And
no,
in the
that's
situation, what?
you're missing like the whole entire definition. Having something that's objective, it means you can appeal to that for its authority or its whatever it is. With something being subjective, it's subjected to different things, not just one ultimate standard. What you're describing is consistency and inconsistency.
Hold
Now,
on, I'll pull up the definition. A person of their judgment, not influenced by personal feelings or opinions in considering and representing facts. That means that it doesn't matter what your feelings or thoughts are on it; it holds in all cases. That's the definition
for objectivity, right?
Objectivity. I'll pull up subjective now. Subjective, based or influenced by personal feelings, tastes, or opinions. So if God feels like that it's okay to kill those people because they're sinning or sacrificing children, then it's okay to kill all those people. But otherwise, he says, thou shalt not murder. That means that murdering people is a subjective moral value.
So who do you think the thou is in that? Thou shalt
People,
not kill.
it
Yeah,
applies to humans.
God's not a human.
Well, he doesn't say I, so it's not talking about God.
Right.
He's
It
given
says
direction. I
you
mean,
people
the whole set of
don't do
10
murders.
commandments is the directions on how the Israelites are supposed to live.
Right. Well, that's a good moral standard for everybody.
Yeah, but it's not objective.
Yes, it is. You've already said that killing
We've
murder
demonstrated
is
that
always
it's not
wrong.
objective. Yes, that's why I said that we have.
But just because somebody does it doesn't mean that the objectivity of thou shalt not murder changes. Now they're subject to the punishment.
Then you have God violating objective morals, and if he's the moral giver, then it's again subjective.
But he is the lawgiver. He's not the law observer.
The argument of objective morality from a God does not. It is one of the weakest, poorest arguments that apologists make, because there's no situation.
I'll say this, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way. I'll say this, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way, but I think your argument's pretty weak. I mean, that doesn't mean that we can agree to disagree. It doesn't mean that we have to be at each other's throats. I think you're awesome.
That's I get it.
This is one of those.
Attack the argument. You're not hurting me personally.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people that I deal with, if you attack their argument, they take it very personally.
Oh, I don't get butthurt. Because you know what? Whenever we get to this point right here, to where you feel like you're attacking the argument and it gets confused. Whenever we go past this, that's where we really dig into the good conversation and get to the bottom of things. But I mean, what you think about my argument, I mean, I use the definitions of the word, and in the Bible, God demonstrates subjective morality rather than objective morality. Now, you can disagree with that and feel like it doesn't work or whatever, but the definitions of the words that we use, there's no way around that. There's no argument that God decides that it's okay to kill people in that situation. If God can change his mind about murdering people, then there is no objective moral standard.
Well, you have to take into consideration that there is just killing and unjust killing.
Yeah, that's
So it's
fine.
not murder. Murder isn't a justified killing. It's
Well, murder is
unjust.
actually a legal term, so it's not.
Yeah, sure.
It's murder
So
has not. It would be killing. It should read "Thou shalt not kill" because murder is a legal
well,
term.
that's a law, you know.
We've just translated it into murder.
Right, but these are laws. So
And
it is a
if you
legal
want to
term.
call it
It's a legal
unjust
set of
killing, unjust according
commandments.
to who? The people that they killed. Do you think that they think it's just to kill people like that? Especially
If they
to
had
kill
a
the
moral
children that
standard,
weren't guilty of that crime.
if they had
So
an
how is that
objective moral
just?
standard, then absolutely it would be unjust to them.
There's
But they didn't. They don't have an objective moral standard. That's the difference in Christianity and a lot of other religions. Is we do have a set, like a code of conduct, essentially, that we do appeal to, and what we base our morality on.
if I know that someone is sacrificing children in a religious ceremony, is it
I'm going in guns
okay for me
blazing.
to kill them and their children?
No.
Of course not.
But we're talking about an entire society that practiced this child sacrifice. That was like their thing.
They murdered their children. They
You're
murdered
talking
babies.
about like, yeah. You're talking about like, a small group of people, not something that's systemic. It was systemic for the Canaanites. It's part of their cult. It was systemic for the Romans too. Once they had too many kids, like in ancient Rome, they would plan out their families before they had them.
Why
And if
did
they
they?
had
That's
kids,
not why they killed the babies in Rome, though.
oh yes, if they
It
had
was
more
for
kids than they
past.
had planned for,
It was
if they had
100% retribution. It was for past crimes.
no in Rome, families, if they had more children that they had planned out for, they would kill the extra children. They thought that
Okay.
Jews were
Population control stuff. Yeah.
They thought that Jews were abhorrent for not
China did that too.
killing their youngest children.
Yeah. No. China did that too for a while. Remember
Oh, yeah.
that? Like
Yeah,
in
the
recent
one-child only
times.
policy. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard to, we're not going to agree because
that's
you
fine.
believe in a perfect God that can't do wrong, but
what is God subjected to? If God is the ultimate authority, who is he under? What is he under? Who's going to punish God?
But see, it doesn't. If he can change his mind, which he does multiple times in the Bible.
No.
If God can decide, if God is the ultimate moral giver and decides that this moral changes for this situation, then it's still subjective because God can choose something different. If God has the ability to choose a different path, then it's still subjective. There's no.
He doesn't.
God
change
can't do anything different.
He doesn't.
But he did.
He doesn't. No, he has never changed.
He said, "Do not murder, do not kill," and then told him to kill. If there's such a thing as just and unjust, you're still describing subjective killing. Like it's still subjective moral.
Well, governments do the same thing, and you're okay with that.
That's not.
Well, actually, I don't know your position on the death penalty.
First of all, that has nothing to do with this.
My bad.
It's another whataboutism. But
it was the same whataboutism. But
I don't think that it's okay. I don't think that it's okay to kill people in any situation. I do believe in jail and locking people up and things like that. I believe in self-defense, so I guess I believe killing in that situation if it's necessary that you kill someone to defend yourself or your family. But I don't. As far as governments killing people, I don't think they should have the power to do that. The power should remain within the people.
You are against the death penalty, which is fine.
Yes,
I totally respect that too.
Because the reason I'm against the death penalty, though, like, see, personally, if you ask my personal opinions, even though I'm like a humanist on most things, my personal opinions is that there are some people that deserve the death penalty, but I don't think the death penalty should be a thing because we make too many mistakes. How many people have been put on death row on, and then been released later because of DNA or
Right.
whatever?
I mean,
So
that's technically a whataboutism too, because that's such a small percentage of people that are on death row or wrongfully convicted. I mean, it
well,
almost never happens.
I don't
I'm
think
not
it's
saying it
okay.
doesn't happen,
I don't
but
think
almost
that
never.
if we have a system, a death penalty system that can accidentally kill innocent people, and even if it's just one, then yeah, I don't think that's a very good system,
Well,
because
so what
then
I've
you're
seen in
responsible for
history, yeah,
yeah.
what I've seen in history is our justice system getting better and better. It used to be, the sheriff had all the authority; he could kill you on the spot if that's what he saw fit,
And why'd they
and
stop that?
because it wasn't a good system.
Right,
It
but
wasn't a
why?
truly just system because
But
the sheriff can
the
make mistakes.
right, and
It
that's the
it's
same.
more
That's why I
fair to
feel
be
that way
tried
about
by
the death penalty.
a jury of your peers and have factual evidence and all that submitted
Yeah,
than to have somebody make a decision on the spot.
yeah.
Now,
It's
law
a better
officers
way, but
still
it's still mistakes are made. They can still be wrong.
officers of the law still have the authority to kill people on the spot if the situation demands it. If somebody's life
Oh,
is at
sure.
risk, if the officer's in danger, if another person, actually they're not obligated to shoot somebody if another person is in danger, but
Well,
for
uh,
themselves they absolutely can with
and
impunity.
within that situation though, um, we see today that there's mistakes made and they kill innocent people.
Yeah,
So
it's terrible.
I'm not saying that they should do away with it. What I'm saying is that these systems, whenever it comes to someone's life, if they're flawed in a way to where innocent people are dying, then we need to continue to improve them and not be happy
Yeah,
with uh, a system that results in innocent people dying.
that's
And
why we have such a big government set up.
yeah,
I mean, we've got Congress, we've got the justice, the branch of gosh, I can't talk anymore. The justice system, the three
yeah,
branches of government, and they're vast, they're
yeah,
huge, but it's that way to protect against and
right.
to continue to progress the justice system.
Yeah. Well,
To
see, where I think where we differ here is that you're okay, at least what I'm hearing anyway, you're okay with collateral damage if it's for the greater good.
yeah,
And
I hate it,
I'm not.
but I think that's just the reality of the situation because there is no such thing as perfection.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
is only, we're doing the best we can, but what I've seen throughout history is that these systems have improved tremendously. Like 100 years ago, you had a much better chance of being falsely convicted of something than you do today because there's so much more technology, there's so much more ability to process evidence and so much more to go by in the past, cases that have already happened that we can use to make judgments. And that's a
Yeah,
large part of how the court system operates is
yeah.
citing cases that have already been decided.
So what the thing that I'm really overall pushing at here is we settle on systems that do the best that we can do with what we have, right? But
Well, yeah. Let me ask you this real quick, and then
yeah,
we can move on from this
yeah, go
subject
ahead.
if you want to. If you were falsely convicted, would you rather spend the next 60 years of your life in a prison cell, or would you rather just be done with it?
Oh, I would rather just be done with it
Same
personally.
here. Same
Yeah,
here.
but that doesn't
It,
really matter though. What I prefer isn't, what I prefer for my own good isn't what is best for
yeah,
humanity or any
that's gonna be
society.
subjective.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
question will be subjective depending
sure.
on each person's
Well,
worldview and
I think with
thoughts.
things like the death penalty, we continue to try and improve the ways that we find people guilty. But I have one more question on this, and then
Sure.
I'll leave this subject alone too. Um, Hypothetical situation: a person is wrongly convicted, and they go to death row, and they're put to death. The person that administers the death of that person, is that a sin? Because it is an unjust killing.
No,
Okay.
because they're operating as part of a system. They're not operating on their own volition or behalf.
So there's a
They're doing a job.
situation where an unjust killing is not necessarily immoral.
Well, that's on the system. That's not on the individual. Would it be
I
wrong that the
agree. I
system got it
agree.
wrong? Yes. Would each individual cog in the machine be to blame? No.
Well, I mean, it's unjust in any frame that you put it in, whether it's
Right,
religion or
right,
anything else. And that
right.
unjust killing, because there's a situation where an unjust killing is okay, we're back to that being a subjective moral, because there's situations where it doesn't apply.
Well, I mean, it's the injustice it befalls on the justice system, not the executioner. The executioner generally doesn't know or doesn't even care what the person did. They're just doing their job. I mean, you're an
I
executioner.
agree.
You push
I
a
agree.
switch.
Well, I'm not saying, again, I'm not trying to point the finger at anybody. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
say the killing itself.
Yeah, the killing
yeah,
would be unjust for sure.
it's a complicated thing, right? There's no easy answer to that.
Yep.
There's
That's why it takes such a big government to set these things up.
yeah, and again, what we call perfection, where if you consider perfection to be to where it benefits the greater good, and I consider it to be no unjust killing occurs, we have two different ideas of perfection, right?
Sure.
So that's all. We can talk about something else.
Yay.
And yeah, hi, my name's Joe, the Kentucky Atheist. I've seen that
Yeah, Mark.
in
Hi, Joe.
chat. Hi.
Joe, do you hear about what happened on Praise I Am show? It was messed up. I think it was last night. They said that I think you heard about this story. Some guy put Lupin's picture up, and then after that they got porn bombed.
Yeah.
It's so messed up.
Yeah, that happened to me. It sucks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is funny. I even think it's funny that it happened to me, but then it also sucks because it's a threat to my channel being taken down. Like, if that happens multiple times, your whole channel can be deleted over it.
Yeah.
That happened to Mark too, right, Mark?
No, I didn't get porn bombed for the umpteenth billion time. It was just some.
Did you get porn bombed, Mark?
No.
Okay,
it was just some shirtless dudes wrestling, and it wasn't anything that was that offensive. It was it was offensive to the eyes for sure. Two giant guys fighting in a bed, not having like sex or anything. They were literally just fighting. But yeah, it wasn't porn bomb.
Okay, that's good. Joe, yeah, I guess they used Lupin's face to use a picture.
Yeah, that is kind of funny that they did that. Like, they took a shot at him. That is funny, but
so there's other people that have problems with Lupin. It's not just me. Who'd have thunk?
He did a video earlier, Joe, about Mark, and another one about Aiden. Right, Mark?
Yeah.
I've seen on your channel, Ghost, that you are, or what your name is. What is your Logan?
Yeah.
Is that what everyone calls you?
Yeah.
I've seen on your channel, Logan, you had a lot of videos of funny things about Lupin.
Yeah. He's a funny guy. He even liked one of them a lot.
I don't think he's funny at all.
He prayed for me the other day, which was a nice gesture, but like, and I guess, you know, if you're praying for an atheist though, in the way he did it, it has to be 100% a I hate to use the word selfish, but like, there's, you know, I don't see why you would do that. But
I just thought it was funny that he started the prayer off by saying, I don't know if he's a believer or not.
Yeah, the Kentucky Atheist.
The Kentucky Atheist. Oh, God, I'm not sure if this guy's a believer or an atheist. It's in the name, bro.
Yeah. My thing with God, though, is like, look, I could be convinced that a God exists. I just haven't been. And the Bible says God reveals himself to people. And You know, if God chooses to do that, then I'll believe a God. Now,
Where does it
whether
say
I
that?
worship that God is different, but
Did you see their PG show, open line show, where they had people on there? First guy Kim on there, he's a pretty good guy. Pretty
Kim
good.
Regic,
I think so.
Yeah.
yeah, Kim Regic's awesome. I had him on my show too.
I went
He's
on their channel last night. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a gun rights advocate and stuff, and he's kind of
Guns have rights?
a gun rights advocate. Yeah, he's I like him though, and he's pretty knowledgeable. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he was on there talking to them, and they got a big debate and stuff. Achilles was there, and Achilles.
Oh yeah, they went on the Proverbs guys last night. We should watch that segment.
Yeah, you want to?
Just
Yeah,
if that's
I'm down.
okay with everybody else.
I'm down for
But
it.
it's a perfect showcase of how stupid Stephen Bolin is. I love it.
Yeah. Do you know where the video's at, Mark?
It was the stream from last night or yesterday afternoon.
Well,
They always go live before Kent does. Sometimes they cut it off before Kent goes live. Sometimes they don't.
I got it.
I'm wrecking. I'll go backwards.
That's it.
Nope, didn't recover from that one. Oh, I don't know.
As you said, Australia as well. Australia, yeah.
Oh,
You'll have to like fast forward until they come on.
They had a scientist guy in a monkey suit. Lupin was on there. Lupin pooping takes a pooping.
Loopin' toopin' takes a poopin'.
Lupin toopin takes a pooping.
I am gonna win this race. If it's the last thing I do.
Lupin. Is this him? Can't make that out.
Appendix.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, so they're also vestigial structures. What's your point?
They're not vestigial. Vestigial is not even a real thing.
It's absolutely a real thing in biology.
Vestigial.
No, it's not. It's a made up word for a false term. There's nothing.
You're gonna have to.
You need them. You
Our-
need them. But
our-
they can
made up.
Our appendix is not vestigial. It has a purpose. Our tonsils are not vestigial. They have a purpose. Our tailbones
I don't have
are
any
not
tonsils.
vestigial. It has a purpose.
What is the purpose of the tailbone?
The purpose of the tailbone is an anchor point to a whole bunch of nerves that control your body
and muscle.
and muscles. Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's just because
Not
it's a
a
part of the
vestigial piece.
spinal column. But the coccyx
Well,
itself serves
we
no
have it
functional
studied.
purpose.
We
The only
have it
reason
studied.
the only reason we have it is because
We
in
have it
our
studied.
biological ancestry,
Okay.
we had
have it
not
studied.
we, but our biological ancestors had tails.
Okay,
okay,
great.
well then
We
why
know
did we
you know-
lose our
we
why
know
did we
you-
lose
wait
our
up,
tails?
Lupin.
I want
Wait
a
up,
tail.
Lupin.
No,
Lupin,
I
wait,
want a
wait.
tail. No, you wait, okay?
And if you want to say anything, just say pause. I'll pause it for you.
Pause.
Okay.
Lupin is drunk as a skunk.
We
What
said
is
yeah.
it?
What's new? Surprise, surprise.
That's not what vestigial means.
Right.
Vestigial just means it's something that had a use and it no longer has that use, but we still retain some part of it. It doesn't mean that it has no use at all. It just means that what its original use was is no longer there. So, like,
Yeah, like wisdom teeth.
yeah, the tailbone is vestigial, but that doesn't mean it can't have a purpose. It just means that our tail, we no longer have tails, but we have the remnants of it, and it's vestigial. It's not. This is a common thing with creationists.
Yeah, coccyx is very useful. You don't want to be without it. Well, it's very tough.
Mark, it's hard to hear.
Yeah, go
you.
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead
Oh, that's
with the video. Yeah.
Okay, wait up.
Okay.
I agree with Lupin. I want a tail too. It would be very
Oh,
convenient.
I would love a tail. Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
I don't know why I lost it. Who says
Well,
I
you
didn't need
didn't
it?
lose it. I think it just selection pressures. It wasn't necessary anymore.
Yeah, but now with the cell phones, I could use holding my cell phone on my car and have my tail driving the car.
Yeah,
So
but that's an argument from anthropocentrism. Just because you
Alright.
personally
come
think it
back.
would be useful doesn't
But we
mean that
do-
evolution
but
would
we-
select for it.
If I'm getting
Okay,
chased
but we
by
do have a
if I'm getting
challenge.
chased by a
Lupin,
lion, I will
Lupin,
use the
let's
tail
get-
to
let's-
climb the tree.
Give me a minute. We have a challenge.
Sure.
We will pay. This channel is going to pay the money for the operation to have your tailbone removed.
I'll do it for free.
Okay.
Would you agree? Would you go through the process? You don't need it anymore.
All right. Let's look it
Someone's
up.
been
Look,
listening to Hoven.
Let's see.
Pause.
Let's see if it would be a good.
Yeah, that's an exact Hoven ripoff.
Yep.
Like
Since
verbatim.
I mean it's only what can it have been, a week and a half since Hoven said that on his channel.
Every bit
And
of
of
that
course
nothing word for word
it's
over.
false. It's built upon a false idea of what
Victory!
vestigial means. It doesn't mean that it has no use whatsoever.
I win.
What do you think, Joe?
Also, to remove, even if it was just had no use at all, it's still a major, not inconvenience, to do that type of operation.
Yeah, it's an unnecessary
Comes-
surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
If they
And
wanna
it
pay
comes
for
with
it-
it comes with major risks. Every time you under anesthesia, I mean complete anesthesia where you go to sleep, it's a huge risk and it's a huge toll on the body. So the whole thing is just Hoven idiocy.
So Achilles said that they would pay for the surgery, right?
Yeah,
I'll take
Mhm.
him up on that. I'll be the guinea pig.
you have to pay for me to do that. You would have to pay for the surgery and pay me to go through it, because there's going to be pain and suffering, recovery,
Well,
and
here's
also
the thing.
long-term effects of taking away a piece of your body. It's not.
They're never going to pay for it. That's why I
No,
accept
no.
their challenge.
Yeah,
Because it's fun to make them out to be liars.
yeah.
Because they are anyway.
Well, you don't have to make them out to be liars. They already are.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get people to pay for me to get the same tattoo that Matt has on his leg of the cat by Seth Andrews.
Well,
Have you seen the picture?
Uh-uh.
yeah, I have. I had no idea that was the backstory.
Yeah. So how that came to be is Seth Andrews told him Matt told Seth that if they raised $40,000, he would get a tattoo of this awful cat drawing done by Seth Andrews and signed. And they raised $68,000, so Matt got the tattoo on his leg. Well, because of that, other people started getting the tattoo, and that's what I was saying. I would get the tattoo if they want to fund it. I ain't paying for it, but I'll get the tattoo.
Good idea
But
for
yeah.
me to remove my coccyx.
Also, this is literally word for word repeating Kent Hogan's video.
Yep.
Yep.
They do more Hoven rehashes.
Yeah.
Removal.
Well, wait a minute. If you're looking up to see if you actually need it, that means it's not vestigial.
No.
after all.
That's not what I said. I said I'm going to look up whether or not it would be a good idea. So it's, let's see, whether it would be a good idea for me to remove my
But you brought
tailbone
up
surgically.
vestigial appendix, the tossals. and then because you know that these aren't, you turn to this. So for this, the third one, I say, so you don't need that. It is vestigial, so let's have it removed. We will pay for the operation.
Do me, do me.
But you
Seems
will
like
have a hard time.
there's a good chance of complications here.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to control some stuff.
Germ cell tumors. Yeah, I don't. I live just fine with my coccyx. I don't need it removed, so I'll have to decline.
Don't call it vestigial then.
Yeah,
It's vestigial whether or not I use it.
Yeah, let me. I haven't. I actually.
Vestigial refers to an evolutionary like necessity, man. It's sort of there.
I have a video.
The thing is that's still a necessity. You couldn't walk without it. So I mean, that's not like a necessity to you. You guys don't see that as like something pertinent to God's original design. Like seriously, you just want to army crawl through the rest of your life just to cut off your nose and spite your face. That's not something we benefit from.
Necessity. It's just something that we have.
We can't walk without it. We would be crawling. That would be devolving, or what is it? Stagnant,
No.
they call it. The opposite of evolving. Like that would be no bueno. You don't get that?
Stagnant. The attachments that the
I think he meant stasis.
coccyx serves could also be attached at other points and are like the tendons and the ligaments, the muscles that are attached to the coccyx.
But it's not.
But
Fine.
they are attached at other points.
Okay, then question for you. Would you be okay with having all evolutionists lined up and having all of theirs involuntarily removed?
I don't
that
know
way
what an
we can ensure you
evolutionist
guys
is.
don't reproduce?
I don't know what
You don't know what an
evolutionist
evolutionist is?
No.
Someone who believes in the religion of evolution. Darwin
I've never heard of
evolution.
that. I've never heard of that.
You've
What is
never
the-
heard
what
of
is the-
Darwinian evolution?
I've never heard of the religion.
What do you think of that, Mark and Joe?
Yeah, they're ripping Hovend off. That's all they do. That's all they can do. They don't have an original thought in their head.
What do you think of that, Joe? You there? Joe,
I
are
don't
you?
think so. He might be AFK.
What about you, Miss Outcast?
I think they are a bunch of uneducated asshats. Exactly. That's what I think.
Yeah, instead of making the same argument that was wrong the first time, go look up what a word means first.
Yes.
I think what's his name did that. Ken.
And it's funny though because what's his name? The guest here, he was doing that. He was looking something up and he got chastised for it. Like, why would you look that up? Like, because you're asking me a question, bro.
Religion of evolution. Could you explain that?
Yeah,
to me?
you have. You absolutely have heard of religion.
I am not aware of any religion with that title.
Do you believe in a type of fairy tale that says fish turned into amphibians, which turned into reptiles and turned into mammals over extended periods of time? Do you believe that?
No.
Wrong.
Really? That is remarkable.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't believe in the farm theory? You
You don't believe in Darwinian?
What is the farm theory?
It's not a theory.
Oh. Have
Just
you
a
ever
description.
heard of that, Joe and Miss Outcast? Farm.
What? I've never. I shouldn't say I've never heard it, but nothing comes to mind. The only thing that pops up is the novel by George Orwell.
Oh yeah, Animal Farm.
Yeah, and I doubt that's the thing.
Guess who's here?
Aiden.
Hello.
Oh,
More like Aidan.
I'm leaving.
No, you're not.
Well,
That's bad.
it's just like it's just like Mark to leave when someone actually comes around with something worthwhile to say. Probably.
I'm still here, you broke back. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that on Logan's channel.
To answer the question, I know you're going to ask me because I'm the seer, and I saw you asking me this, Logan. Farm theory is not an actual theory. It's an acronym that's used in evolutionary study by people trying to study the theory of evolution to help them memorize a certain aspect of the theory of evolution. It's not a theory. It's never been purported as like actual science. It's literally the equivalent of Roy G. Biv as an acronym to remember the colors of the rainbow. What about the Roy G. Biv theory? What about that? I'm sure we'll hear about that from Lupin next.
PEMDAS. Okay, nobody knew that one. That's sad.
Sorry.
It's just an acronym to try and get people to
Exponents,
remember
multiplication, division,
complex
addition,
concepts.
subtraction. Yeah.
Yeah,
I still
bed
remember
math
that
is the one that I
still remember that from school. Many moons ago when I was a
What
child.
about bed mass theory though? What about that? Yeah, that disproves evolution. Oh,
What about
gosh,
what about scuba theory?
Yeah, scuba theory. Yeah. What an idiot.
What do you think of what happened with Lupin the other night? I heard someone put a picture up there that porn bomb. It was messed up. We think
Yeah, I definitely am interested as to who actually did that. I mean, I think I've got an idea of who actually did that.
Was it you?
No, no, I was while Lupin was busy making shorts about interactions I had with his butt buddy Stump 8 months ago. I was living my own life and like doing my own thing.
Wow.
I know. People actually do that. People actually do that on occasion. They like
That's
spend
so
time with their
weird.
families and they read books and they go outside and do things besides lounging by the pool like an Arctic seal.
You said some weird word there. Very strange.
Family.
Oh, okay. And that's
He might
just a
know them as the
thing.
people that pay for his house and his pool for him, but yeah, they're family.
Oh my god.
Look what Claude said.
I wonder if he has a bedtime. Do you think he has a bedtime still? You think that they come downstairs if he's making too much noise and they're like, "Go to bed, son. God, make too much noise."
He should have.
He should for sure. No For Loco for a week, son. No.
Give me back my credit card.
Yeah. You don't get access for the trust fund for a whole week. No.
What do you think of it when you were on there, Aiden?
I thought it was a good time.
Oh, that's good.
I enjoyed myself. Like when I was on Proverbs yesterday.
Yeah, this is the show.
Oh yeah, no. It was pretty good. I wasn't able to be on there for too long because I was working, but I totally stumped Achilles as far as my question about the Appalachian Mountains compared to the Himalayas. His answer was basically, well, it's that way because the Bible says it's that way. It was basically his answer. And it's like, okay, well, that doesn't explain anything whatsoever.
I beat up a quadriplegic. Ooh.
I'm sure they put up quite a fight.
Yeah, just like Achilles did.
Yeah. Just about. No, it's as far as that's concerned, he was trying to talk about how, the tides would be way higher than they would be now because there's no land to get in the way. And it's like, yeah, that's true if that were hypothetically the case, but they'd still be evenly distributed because there's no uneven continental shelves to stop them if the water line's way higher. Oh my goodness. It was a whole thing. It was a whole
Is
thing.
this a flat Earth
And-
thing?
Well, no. It was just. Well, I mean, he is a flat earther, and I honestly don't even engage with his flat Earth stuff because he always uses anytime somebody does as like an excuse to go, oh, but they're just trolling. They're just trying to get into the nonsense instead of talking about the truth. But no, as far as his biblical beliefs about the flood are concerned,
Oh, okay.
yeah, that was more what it was related to.
I see.
Yeah, no, he's. I don't know how he thought that his answer was sufficient because, like I said, his answer, and you can go back and watch the interaction if you want. Don't take my word for it. Basically, just consisted of, oh well, that's the case because the Bible said so, and I think he showed the Pillars of Hercules, which he said were on the Black Sea. No, they're not. The Pillars of Hercules flank the Straits of Gibraltar. One of them's on the African side, one of them's on the European side. Yeah, he brought them up like apropos of nothing whatsoever as like a red herring in the conversation, and was just like, yeah, that explains why things are the way they are. It's like, no, though, they don't.
Ooh.
It seems to be like that's his source for all arguments. Is just whatever he pulls out of his ass.
No, it's true. He tries to cobble a whole bunch of things together at the top of his head and throw them all at you and just be like, yeah, well, I said a whole bunch of words there, so that addresses everything you said, right? It's like, no. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
The Gibraltar Trade Center?
That's right. No, the Strait of Gibraltar is the strait that is the opening for the Mediterranean Sea. And I actually wanted to get into the Strait of Gibraltar, but I didn't have the time to be able to do it because the Strait of Gibraltar doesn't prove his argument. It actually disproves it because we know when the rock formations that still underlie the Strait of Gibraltar was breached and was broken by the Mediterranean Sea, because we can date that based on the rock formations that we have at the strait today. And we could see that when the Mediterranean Sea first started filling, because the Strait of Gibraltar was breached, the Dam of Gibraltar, as it once was called, at one point in time, archaeologically speaking, or geologically speaking would probably be a better term. That was the big thing that caused Homo sapiens to, or not Homo sapiens, our ancestors, Homo erectus and Australopithecus. It's
You're a
often
Homo
speculated
erectus.
as the biggest. I know, right? It's often suspected as the biggest reason for why they began walking upright, because the climatic shift that was brought about in the African savanna, what it would be considered nowadays, was once a much more lushly forested area, and the water that had been carried over that allowed it to be so lush at that point in time was diverted away from Africa and was brought more so towards the Atlantic Ocean, thanks to the Atlantic Ocean gyre forming the way that we know of it now. That wouldn't be able to work the way that we know of it if it weren't for the Mediterranean Sea existing where it is and diverting some of those water flows. So it's not an argument for him, it's an argument against him.
Don't you love it when people destroy their own arguments?
It's quite good. It's quite beautiful. I don't think that I could really get him to see that, because he just seems so inculcated. See, the funny thing is that these people will throw terms like religion at evolution because they need evolution to somehow be on this even proverbial playing ground, because they can't stomach the idea that we could, hold to a scientific theory and not dedicate our entire lives to it the way that they do. Not hang every single facet of what we think and believe about this world on that like they do upon their religion.
Yeah, they can't fathom it, and it's so hard to talk to someone whenever they because if you don't believe my thing, then you must believe something else the way I do, and that thing is evolution, and it's just it's nonsense.
Well, I was chatting with Mark, and I was telling him that in general, the best way to unmask these people's ignorance regarding evolution and regarding humanism is to get them to try and engage in a Socratic dialogue where they defend, just hypothetically, They play devil's advocate. And they try to defend the positions of evolution, or they try to defend the positions of our worldview, and see how well they do at actually doing that. They would do horribly because they don't know what they're talking about. They haven't studied our point of view the same way that we've studied theirs. And it shows in every single conversation that you have with them, because we're not the ones that are constantly making fundamental misconstrusions about Christianity. You know, we're not saying blatantly false things that can be provably, you know, falsified within the Bible. That's not happening. They do that with science every time you engage with them. So the playing field's not even in that regard at all whatsoever. And I think that can be best unmasked when you try to get them to engage in that, because Socrates famously said that if you can't defend your opponent's argument, then you don't understand it.
That's you know, I actually spoke about this quite a few times, because I feel like places like Modern Day Debates has made it appear that somehow evolution and creation are this, oh, it could be either way and they're on equal ground, and that's never been the case. But
no,
we continue to have the conversations, I guess.
I mean, I think that they need to be, for the sake of debate, I think they need to be platformed that way, because if you tried to treat it like, well, you know, evolution is just inherently right and these creationists are on the back foot in regards, then you're really no better than people like Achilles constantly throwing up, like, you know, images of like evolutionists being, quote unquote evolutionists being in like psychiatry, and they're being talked to by some therapist, or you know, the monkeys dancing around the screen or stuff. I don't think that you're much better than those people when you start demonstrating like blatant favoritism towards secularism over creationism in those settings. It's not really going to win over any hearts and minds, so to speak.
No, I agree. I mean, I think the point, there's a point to the debates and conversations. I'm just saying that, like, science and religion are so far opposite that it's you're not talking about the same thing. If you're arguing, you're arguing for a supernatural cause that there is no evidence or any way other than you believe it and it's in a book, rather than actually taking a look at the world around you and how it works. And
well, it's funny because, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Achilles and Lupin are two people that I have seen explicitly scoff at people like Father Charles for taking the orthodox position on these things, which oftentimes more than not is that these things are mysteries. You know, that there's things about God, there's aspects about the supernatural that we're just never going to know about until we experience it for ourselves. I can respect that position. Yeah. I may not hold to that position. I may not say that position is true, but that is an internally consistent position.
Yeah.
All right. The people like Lupin and Achilles will try to say on one hand that, oh yeah, there's supernatural stuff, but then they'll also try to use science to somehow unpack and explain those things, and argue that, oh well, these things, you know, these natural phenomena that we observe in our world somehow overwhelmingly prove that this supernatural entity exists. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really silly to me. It's like trying to use the speed of light to prove the force of gravity. Like, try to use the speed of light must correlate to the force of gravitational acceleration on the Earth. Yeah. No, just because both of them exist on the planet doesn't mean that they correlate with each other.
Right. And
I will step away for a minute. I'll be back.
Like the calling people naturalists like it's a bad word or something. Like it's, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of silly, but I like having those discussions too. I was a young Earth creationist and have lived among young Earth creationists my whole life. So, I mean, I get it. Like, I get people believe it and they'll argue for it. I'm not like hating on Modern Day Debates. I'm just saying that format makes it appear as if these things are starting off on equal ground, and they're not the same in any way.
No, I hear you. And I've heard Big Bad Mama's expressed pretty similar sentiments towards flat Earth debates in the past, and I've had much the same response in that I think that even if these ideas, like flat Earth, especially in my opinion, is an idea that is not only counterintuitive, but is, as Ken Hovind would say, dangerous, quote unquote, in terms of it just spreading fundamental misinformation about the world that we live in. I think that's true, but I think that society at large is better equipped when flat Earth arguments are out there in the public square. Because when they're not, when there's something that's kind of like kept under lock and key and they're this esoteric thing that only certain people have access to, that's when flat earthers begin working their way into little communities and getting converts here and
Yeah,
there
that
by
creates
making arguments that those people don't have our access to refutations to. Because with the taking away of those points from the discussion, and I'm not saying you're advocating for this, I'm just making the point that
no, gotcha.
with the deplatforming of people, whether they be flat earthers or Nazis or whatever that point of view may be, you take away with that deplatforming the counter arguments to those points, and I think that is equally, if not more, dangerous.
I agree 100%. I wouldn't. I'm not for deplatforming it or anything, and I'm not even saying it shouldn't happen.
For sure.
Yeah, it's just the way that the discussion is viewed. I find interesting. I think that they should absolutely be able to, speak their beliefs or their part or whatever. And now I don't agree when it comes to like teaching things in schools and stuff like that. But as far as like public square platforms, they should have a voice just like anybody else.
Aiden.
No, I agree. Like it shouldn't. I don't think that it should be taught at taxpayer expense, as Kent likes to endlessly harp on. But some dude wants to set up a soapbox on a street corner and start yelling about how the Earth is flat or about how Hitler wasn't such a bad guy. I say let him do it.
Yeah.
Well, Aiden, what about triangle earthers?
You mean deviantists?
Yeah.
They all believe that the Earth is a giant pyramid.
Yeah.
But the world is a giant pyramid. What can I say?
I just want to recall that very beautiful video I showed Deviant of how many sides does the pyramid have? 5. No, it's actually 4. What about the bottom? What about the bottom?
Yes.
Now that is some esoteric knowledge right there. That's some Gnosticism right there, boy.
You serious? Oh, Joe.
That's right.
Have you been on Lupin's show before?
No.
Oh,
okay.
He's invited me a couple times, but I haven't had time to do it.
Don't waste your time is my personal opinion. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but don't waste your time.
That's a distinct possibility.
he got really upset. He got really upset yesterday when you didn't go on because he tagged you and he was like, "We flaked out. What happened?" And then after that, he tagged me and Mark and 2 other things. When he tagged of me was like this clip from like 8 months ago, and he was like calling me this like weak baby that was possessed by a demon or something. It's like, oh, what a lovely show. Oh, let me go find it. Gangster Ghost. Could you pull it up? Actually, I'm on my phone.
Yeah,
Could you pull it up? We don't even have to watch the video. It's the text that I find really funny. That's the chef's kiss.
Yeah.
And there's 2 videos.
You know what? That's not the chef's kiss. I go back on that. The chef's kiss is the fact that he tagged me in a short when he knows that I can't even reply to the tagging because he has me blocked on his channel. That was the chef's kiss of it.
Here it is.
Oh, fucking.
Yeah, I did see your comment on it.
Yeah, I asked you if you saw my comment because I commented. I was like, the funny thing, Lupin, is that you're the only one that's going to see this comment because you've got my comments hidden to the public.
Right here.
Deviant, can you read the text? Because it's too small for me. My weak Canadian eyes.
Your tiny Canadian eyes. I will try. I will have. Wait.
I did a video recently where one of my friends.
Could you full screen it?
I had to use my phone because my internet wanted to die all
Sorry,
the time.
TKA.
No, you're fine.
You were
I
saying
did a
something?
video recently. One of my friends sent me a box of different candy and treats and stuff from Canada, and I opened it on video and tried all the stuff. Canada's got some cool stuff.
What's your favorite? I gotta know. What's your favorite?
So this is
Oh,
to
what
the
was that called? Coffee Crisp or
channel. Apparently somebody got my image and pretended to be me. Went on the live stream. And did some
Oh, Aiden, here's a video you
Yes.
should watch. He
Well,
put
hold on. Before we move on, I just want, if I can't because I can't read it, it's too small up on the screen. It's like little itty bitty tiny text on my phone.
this.
If somebody
and
could read that text.
I had to use. I have to use my phone too because I was constantly losing connection.
I can read it for you. This is what happens when a patriot upper demon takes over someone.
Uh-oh.
Wait, he changed. Did he change the text? Did he change the text? Because what he originally put was, "This is when a babbling demon overtakes a weak man," and he put "man" in quotes. It was really good.
Yeah, I guess he did.
He edited the text when he knew that I commented, "Oh my gosh, Lupin, you scoundrel, you rogue! It's the internet, you fool!" Like, you really think you could just get away with something like that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You call yourself a wolf, but you're such a dog, Lupin.
He also did a response about that Praise I Am incident. What do you think of that?
You could play that one if you want. I wanna hear his excuse making for how oh yeah, and Mark says that he got me too in the messenger, so maybe you could show Mark's after we watch this one.
Yeah, well.
Channel. Apparently somebody got my image and pretended to be me and went on your live stream and did something. I'm not going to mention what they did, but I just wanted to clarify that that wasn't me. That's not in my character. I'm pretty sure I know who it was, but we could either talk about
That's
it
not in
in
my character.
private
Not you,
or
Lupin.
on stream. But yeah, just want to clarify that wasn't me.
Couldn't be me.
Hopefully, it didn't do anything negative to your channel. And we could get this resolved. But yeah,
Couldn't be
just to
me.
clarify,
A
not me.
well-known friend of the
I have my
person being
face and
dunked
my
on the
webcam
live
on, so
stream that what
obviously
ended up
you could get a
happening
picture
on.
of me.
Couldn't have been me,
So
folks.
just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know.
Gets his hand caught in the cookie jar
this
gets
is
a photo
to
of his hand
Praise
caught
the
in the
I Am
cookie jar, and he's like,
channel.
"That was somebody else who was in the
Apparently
cookie
somebody
jar."
got my image and pretended to be me and went on
Gangster
your live
Ghost.
stream and did
Pause it.
something. I'm not going to mention what they did, but I just wanted to clarify that that wasn't me. That's not in my character. I'm pretty sure I know who it was, but we could either talk about it in private or on stream.
Gangster Ghost, can you hear me?
Yeah, just want to clarify that wasn't me. Hopefully, it didn't do anything negative to your channel.
Is anybody there? Hello?
And we could
If
get
we're
this
caught with a loop of this forever, hell does
resolved.
it
But
do.
yeah,
I was just
to
wondering if I was
clarify,
in like
not
some
me.
Twilight Zone where this
I
is
have
just
my
going
face
on
and
forever
my
and ever.
webcam on, so obviously they could get a picture of me. So just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know. Yo, so
Gangster, we
this
get
is
it.
to
We
Praise
get it.
the I Am channel. Apparently somebody got my image.
Gangster, you went
and,
AFK at the worst
pretended to
time.
be me and went on your live stream and did something. I'm not going to mention what they did, but I just wanted to clarify that that wasn't me. That's not in my character.
That's not in my character. What
I'm
does that
pretty
mean?
sure I know who it was, but we could either talk about it in private or on stream. But
Or
yeah,
not at
just
all.
want to clarify that wasn't me. Hopefully, it didn't do anything negative to your channel. And and we could get this resolved. But yeah, just to clarify, not me.
Oh, go.
I have my face and my webcam on, so obviously they could get a picture of me. So just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know. Yo, so this is.
Thank you, Gangster.
All right.
I think we've got it. I think we've got a good idea of what was said at this point. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. One more time. No, I'm just kidding. Please, not one more time.
So,
Please,
so
no.
Aiden,
Please.
I'm not familiar with you. What do you do normally? Or you just hang out, or do you make content?
I don't personally make content. I mainly just go on other people's streams and hang out with other people. As far as what I do in my personal life, I do volunteering at the military museum and stuff, and then I do surveying and stuff for my job. But no, mainly on the YouTube sphere, I just kind of go on people's streams and hang out. No, I just wanted to point out something that I thought was kind of funny. Lupin can't bring up the words porn bombing in a stream. He can't do them in those shorts. He's not going to bring those words up because those just, they cross the line, proverbially speaking. But talking about the drowning death of a child in a lake and trying to put that death of that child onto somebody's hands for the sake of some petty internet argument, that's A-OK for Lupin. That's perfectly fine to talk about till the cows come home and not apologize for. But porn bombing, that's off the table. That's too far.
Oh, sorry, Aiden. I was talking on the phone.
No, that's okay. That's all good.
Yeah,
I'm back. What I missed?
The crazy guy.
Oh, okay. More of the same then.
Is that crazy?
I'm looking for the
TKA, I just want to make it clear that I know that you don't know too much about me, so it may seem like I'm just going totally off the wall with this guy whenever I'm responding to him, but you just need to understand that I don't do this with much of anybody on the internet. I reserve this kind of behavior for just a couple of people that I consider especially egregious, and he's one of them.
I believe that.
I think what Aiden said when Lupin was praying was perfect.
He sent me a crazy message. I just can't remember what platform he sent it on.
What I said about him getting him having a huge closet because we couldn't hear any reverb, yeah.
Yeah, he sent me some kind of he sent me a message saying something about where are you at and why didn't you show up to my stream and all this other stuff and then but it ended with I didn't need you anyway. I had a backup plan. And I was like, well, why does it matter then? Like, and I said, I'm sorry. Like, you have to understand, I'm very busy. Like, I'm like,
oh my God, he Brett Keened you. He really did. He Brett Keened you.
So
he sure did.
And I never said I would come. I said I would try to stop by. Like,
well, of course, but that's committing yourself in Lupin's eyes. That's you devoting your entire evening to him in his eyes because the entire universe, revolves around him.
Well, my people that help me, like Robin that's in chat and Azo helped me a whole lot to decide what content we make and stuff. And so whenever somebody like Lupin pops up, I have to have people go look at his history and see, that he's not just trying to be an asshole first, because there are people with
I'm sorry.
He's a self-proclaimed internet
Lupin
asshole.
is an asshole. It's his shtick.
It is.
Well, I'm not
sorry.
Does he always talk in that tone of voice? Like, is it always?
Sometimes he slurs more.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Most times he just slurs a lot.
I mean, I'm not hating on him. It's just very strange.
You're gonna hang out with
He's
Mark
a drunkard.
Texas. I need to talk.
Do you guys want to watch the one about Mark?
Sure.
Which one?
Well, Lupin threw a little hissy fit towards me and Mark alike last night because I think he blames us for TKA not showing up on his show and bowing to his whims, I guess. That's what Big Bad Mama had as speculation, and I kind of tend to agree with him.
This one,
I think I'm gonna record a pre-recorded little thing for people like that ask me to come on, and to just send that to them and let them play it.
I love that you told us that, you know, if anybody doubts the Kentucky atheist's integrity and they think that he's lying about that message that Lupin sent to him, that end little blurb about "but I didn't need you anyways" is the most Lupin thing that he could possibly have closed that message with. It's classic him. He can't help
Well,
but
it
be
starts
just
out with all
bitter.
this like slang talk in the beginning, like it's typed, but he typed it in slang, and that was the thing I was wanting to read because it's weird. The message is strange. Maybe you put it on my YouTube channel as a comment. Let me go look.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
this is the one where he calls Mark another mansplaining yuppie demon weak vessel #Jesus.
Oh, he changed it up some.
Yeah.
He called me a yippie.
YAPPER.
Oh, he changed.
Oh,
Oh,
yapper.
yeah.
Yapper.
Oh, he called me a yapping demon as well. Initially, he called me a yapping demon. So maybe he editorialized yours as well.
He called me a demon in a weak vessel.
I love it. I love it so much because he calls me a weak man, quote unquote, in quotes, when he is so weak that he can't even actually have me reply in the various. It's just words, Lupin. I promise you, whatever comment I have is not going to hurt you. They're just pixels on a screen.
Oh, I found it. I found it. He said, "Yo, dog, where'd you go, man? Thought we were gonna have a chat." And I said, "I forgot I had to watch Ember's live stream." He said, "All good, bro. I had a backup plans in case. Ha ha ha. I'm going to do another show at 7:30 p.m. if you can make that." And I said, "I have Matt Dillahunty on at 8 tonight, so I'm not going to be able to do that." He said, "No problem. Enjoy. My shows are usually at 7:30, but like you said, we can figure it out. I hope you have a good stream."
Well, you know, I think you should have passed up Matt Dillahunty to have Lupin on because Lupin's much more notable in the community than Matt Dillahunty. Much bigger name.
Matt was a lot of fun. I mean, I do get there's a little bit of like clout chasing there on having Matt on, but not really because for me it was Matt, and in fact I asked Matt about this argument about deception and what he thought about it and stuff, something he had never talked about, and he thought it was interesting and said he would look into it and stuff, but Matt, it was a lot of fun having Matt on. We had a good time. I mean, it obviously benefits my channel to have people on that have a big following, but like that's how you build a channel. Like especially doing what I do, talking to people. You want to talk to people that people want to see. But I talk to a little bit of everybody. In fact, I have people on that don't even have channels. Michael Bell was a guest on my channel. He doesn't make content at all. He's just a member of the community with an interesting story.
But he's related to Taco Bell.
What is it?
But he's related to Taco Bell. Michael Bell?
Obviously.
Oh, I see.
Duh.
Yeah, that was crazy. He did a response to that. What do you think of that, Aiden? I don't think it was him. I think it was that news guy. What do you think, Aiden?
Yeah.
You there, Aiden?
Sorry, I'm just getting my lunch together here. I've got to work in about 40 minutes.
You go get your little food?
That's right. I got some chili, and I'm putting some cheese in my chili, and then I'm putting some rice in it too. So it's got like all the fixins.
You got some chili mac going on there.
That's right. Pour some beefaroni in that. Oh, yeah.
That was
I
so
got
funny. That
beans and bologna.
on our day, Aiden,
Please come home.
as soon as you
I
came
got
on,
beans and bologna. Yes,
as
yes.
soon as you came on,
I want to know the
Matt's show,
context behind that.
Brett,
Right?
that was so funny, Aiden. As soon as you came on that show of Miss Maud, Brett was gone.
I didn't even say a word. Didn't say a single thing. All that he needed to do was gaze upon my glorious avatar with his sallow manatee eyes, and he was gone.
What if
Brett
next?
Keane.
Yes.
Brett King. Have you heard of him?
Brett Keane. Yeah, I've said some really friendly things about him. He's a piece of shit.
Brett Keane, you're not as slick as you think. Caught
We
in a
actually-
lie, fuck knows how many times. It's okay if I swore that one time because it was in the context of the song.
Nobody's complaining. Yeah, we have a resident Brett Keenologist in the house. Who's that?
Oh.
Aiden Linden. He's been following Brett Keane more than half his life.
Yeah. So you're aware of his conversations about child orgasms and stuff?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of the weird, creepy stuff he's said about his daughter. I'm aware of all the
WTF, mate? Why
stuff
would
that's
Brett
gone
Keane
on in his.
be talking about children and orgasms in the same context? That's
Sorry.
not cool. Well,
I shouldn't have even said it here. I'm sorry.
no. You're fine. You're fine. But Brett Keane, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that he would, but wow.
Yeah, he went on this whole thing saying, and it was about atheists. He said that atheists are Nazis and that all the things that go on with children are because of atheists, and that atheists do it because we don't believe in anything and we just want to know what child orgasms are like. And yeah, it was a whole big banter of filth about Nazis and everything else.
Well,
And
just take Brett's typical predilection for just projecting whatever dark, messed up crap is going on in his head, and just extrapolate that onto him saying, you know, all these atheists just want to see
Yeah.
child orgasms.
that's what the first thing I thought is it's always projection whenever these people do this, and it's sickening the things that he's talking about. So why is he thinking about those things? And also, just to be clear, his remarks about atheists, the DOJ statistics are 100% the opposite.
Yeah, we're underrepresented in terms of prison populations compared to our representation within society as a whole. That is true.
Well, it applies to child crimes too.
Yep, but these are the same people that I went on the show with the Proverbs guys one time, and they were trying to make the argument that the world is getting worse. You know, the world's coming to hell in a handbasket. We're at the very end, basically. And I made the argument that things overall, yeah, some things are really crappy in this world, but overall things have been improving, and it looks like they're going to continue to improve.
Yeah. Preach it, Ed.
Just as on a wider scale basis. And they basically, one of the arguments that was fielded to me, because somebody had made the claim that the murder rate was going up, whereas that's the exact opposite of the truth. The murder rate has been going down consistently for decades now. It's not even a local trend. It's been going down for decades.
Yeah.
And Jason, I think, yeah, he was the one that came in and he said, well, you know, there was a couple of atheist professors in the 90s that wrote a really good study about this, saying that the only reason why the murder rate went down, quote unquote, was because the majority of abortions were taking place in low-income households, and most murders are done by people in low-income households. So that's the reason why. Right. And I started pointing out the sheer absurdity of the notion that people from a lower income household are just like inherently predisposed. They just come out of the womb, and because they come out in like a lower tier hospital, they just need to kill. The bloodlust is just inserted into them in the womb. Like, I just started going off on the silliness of it, and he was like, oh, well, that's not my argument. I'm not making that argument. It was those professors that made that argument. It's like, yeah, that's why you brought it up in the discussion, right?
Yeah.
Dipsnummer.
I mean, it's not
Was that German?
surprising when every fact that they point to is exactly the opposite of what they say, that they think what they do. I mean, like, because if we can't agree on the terms of reality, that certain facts exist, then like of course you're gonna think some crazy shit. But like they refuse to accept factual information. And like, yeah, that's funny. Like, just because you're poor, we're having abortions, poor people. When again, the evangelicals have the highest rate of abortions, teen pregnancy, repeat teen pregnancy, and it's because of a lack of education, and that's clearly demonstrated.
Sorry, I'm just out in the living room. I'm just getting the finishing touches put on this meal. I do think I'm gonna head out and eat this now, but thank you very much, Gangster Ghost, for having me on. I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you for coming.
Why?
Nice talking to you, Aiden.
Yeah, nice being here. It's always nice talking with you, TKA. I'd love
Come
to.
visit. You can come on my channel anytime you want.
Hey, Aiden.
Yeah, that'd be cool to stop by.
We have open panels all the time.
Hey, Aiden.
Sweet. Yes.
Tarkov later.
Maybe if you're still up at 10, well, I guess 9 your time, and I'm still have enough energy to play, then maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Let's do it.
Maybe.
I'm ready to do a wipe. I really am. Let's start over.
No, I know. Don't worry. I am also prepared.
What game are you guys playing?
Escape from Tarkov.
Oh, okay.
I'm playing Halo right now. I suck
Nice.
at Halo, just like I always did.
Talk to you guys later.
I was good at Halo 4.
Take care, Aiden.
I'm gonna pretend like I didn't hear that, TKA. Anyways, talk to you guys later.
Later.
Take care. Bye.
Oh, Joe, you ever played Mortal Kombat?
I'm not really into first-person shooters and stuff. I mean, they're okay, but I just it's not the top. I like story-driven games a lot better, and I know there is a story to like Halo and stuff, but like I liked what was the Call of Duty World War II. That was an awesome game because it showed actual events of World War II. But like right now, I'm playing through Breath of the Wild Master Mode, just because I like the story, and it's that's the kind of I love Zelda games because of the story, and they also have like this I don't know, it's almost like a tie to mythology, and I think they're just interesting the way they're done. But I'm real picky about video games.
What about Fortnite?
No, I don't like Fortnite.
Let's play
like
Fortnite. I'm gonna go play Fortnite right now.
I don't care to watch Fortnite, and I think it's interesting to watch. I don't like those open games that don't really have a goal. I would rather be playing towards some goal and have, a structure of things to do. But that's just me personally. Those games are huge and people love them. I just don't like to play them. I prefer, something that I can get into the story and
Do you chase Zelda?
Zelda?
Yeah, do you chase her?
What is it?
Do you go around chasing Zelda?
Chasing Zelda?
Yeah, no, but
Yeah, that's Ken Hovind.
Oh.
That's what he calls video games, is chasing Zelda.
Huh. That's an interesting take. Before I
He's a
started
boomer.
the Atheist channel, I had a Twitch channel where I played retro games. That's why my Twitter handle is still KY Pickles KY, because it was from my Twitch channel that I started it.
Have you ever been on that PG show, Joe?
No.
Pirate guys, Steven and them.
Oh, no. I don't get invited to a lot of shows. I think, I don't know. I think maybe the name, the Kentucky Atheist, and the redneck accent makes people go ahead and think that I'm an idiot or something. So I don't get invited many places. I've been on a few shows. I've been on Godless Granny, Wavelength. They have me on all the time. I'll be on there with Professor Dave this week. That's going to be a fun show.
You know, PG's had the guy who debated Professor Dave, a video of him on there, James I forgot his name.
James Tor.
Yeah, I think so. The guy who debated Professor Dave. They had his video up there.
Yeah. James
Yeah.
Tor
Have you
is
seen it?
I haven't seen his video, no.
Oh, I mean, have you seen their debate between each other?
Oh yeah, I've seen the debate.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with the way that Professor Dave chose to approach that debate. I mean, but I think maybe it's just his personality is just that way. I mean, he brought evidence and papers and all that stuff, but I think he took a lot of focus away from the evidence that he had that proved his side by behaving in the way he did with all the ad hominem attacks. And I think that he still demonstrated that James Tor was wrong, which was the point. But I think that it doesn't help your credibility to do that, though. Yeah, don't go throwing mud.
Yeah, he really make people mad. Like Dustin, he gets very mad at Professor Dave.
Well, Professor Dave here's what Dave says about that. And again, I don't agree with his approach to it, but I mean, he's apparently it works for him. He's got a very huge channel and people love to watch it. But I wouldn't choose to go that route with it. I love Professor Dave and his, because he puts out good information, but at the same time, he thinks, and this is what he says about it. He says, you want to say that I'm acting like a dick and stuff, but what you're doing is you're misinforming people about science, and you're treating science like a dick. So what I'm doing and the way I'm acting is nothing compared to what you're doing. And that's kind of his view on it. And I can understand that as him, being a professional in the field. So, I mean, I get it, but it just wouldn't be my approach is all.
You're a professional. You get paid. Professional
Who pays
YouTuber.
me?
YouTube.
YouTube doesn't pay me anything.
Well, you get.
In fact, I pay YouTube.
Oh, really? Well, I buy premium too, but I wouldn't have.
No, not like that. So, the people who watch my channel pay me. And
yeah.
YouTube gets paid a third of that.
Right.
So YouTube doesn't pay me anything. They make money off of me.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Which is fine as long as they keep promoting my videos. They can have a third.
But you still get paid for what you do, so that makes you a professional. You're a professional YouTuber.
Are
you a professional Kentucky guy?
Is that the? I mean, if that is if because I make money is the standard for being a professional, then I guess so. But
it is.
I don't.
I mean,
well,
otherwise you'd be an amateur and you wouldn't get paid.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
me.
I guess if you want to define it that way, I mean, I guess you can call it that. I don't consider myself a professional at anything. I just I would never pass myself off as a professional anything. I'm just a guy from Kentucky that's willing to have complicated conversations with people who want to, have honest conversations. That's and also like the money from YouTube and stuff. It's not like I'm making a bunch of money, because I'm not. It's very little. In fact, most months I don't get paid anything.
Yeah.
Even like if you go on my channel and you leave a super chat or join as a member or something, that goes into a pot. And when that pot gets over $100, I get paid a month later.
Oh,
But,
$1,000 they pay you?
huh?
Do they pay you $1,000?
No, they pay me whatever it is. Like if it's $100, I get $100. But I don't get that. When I say $100, though, it actually has to be more than that because they take part of every donation. So, you know, it's but those things like my channel's doing pretty good right now. It's on the up. So that money's going into. I've got an office in the room next to where I usually do my videos, but it's a disaster and half torn up. That money's going to fix that and make a studio out of it so that I can put on better content. So it's everything goes back into the channel. Like Robin, who was in my video with Matt last night, her camera, she didn't have a camera at the last moment, no camera or mic. I used the money from the channel and ordered one for her from Walmart because it was going into the channel. Even though I am probably one of the poorest people you'll ever meet.
Have you met me yet?
I literally live in a basement and have next to nothing, and that got flooded here not too long ago. But you know, I live day to day, and still though that money, if people give money to my channel, I use it to try and make the channel better for those people. I'm a very honest person. In fact, at any moment, I wouldn't care to show everybody what every penny of it went to. It's I want to do this to help. You know, first of all, correct misinformation and expose harm. But if there's people out there that are looking for a like-minded community that may live in a place where I do, where I can't go talk to other people around here about, you know, atheism or you know, make any criticism of it because where I live, there's not atheists. It's just not a thing. And so if I want to talk to like-minded people about these issues that come up, my choices are, you know, some kind of chat or something outside of where I live. And so I want to have a place where people who may be on the fence about things or may, you know, just be looking for people to talk to about those issues they're going through with either deconversion or deconstruction or whatever it may be, that there's people there, a community of people that are trying to do good to talk to. The stuff, having arguments and stuff with people, doing debates and things like that, it's never because I want to make somebody wrong or change their mind or anything like that. It's purely for the audience.
Have you ever heard of TTOR?
Yeah.
Have you ever been on his show or anything?
No. I've been on Neil the 604 Atheist. I've been on Godless Granny. I've been on Wavelength a few times. I've been on what's it called? Matters Now. I've been on there a few times. I'm getting ready to go on Maya's show sometime soon. Bad Science Sundays. I haven't been a lot of play. I'm on Missing Mods channel a lot. I don't get invited a lot of places. And I don't go
out. You can come to
out
my
looking.
channel. You can come to my show anytime you like. You're always welcome.
Well, you know, if I catch people on, and they're, you know, letting people join or whatever, a lot of times I will join even just for a little while, just to say hey and whatever. And you know, this is how I meet other people that are like, hey, I want to talk to you about this thing, and I'm like, well, let's set up a show and have that discussion. You know, me and Mark just talked the other day, and that's exactly how it happened. We were talking in chat about something, and I was like, hey, let's talk about that. And
I think it was actually on Facebook. that we set that up.
It
Made
may
like a
have been.
comment on one of your Facebook posts.
Yeah, it may have been. I'm on Facebook and Twitter a lot. Twitter's funny because that's where you find like the most militant creationists and stuff, and the some of the grossest ideas, quote unquote. But they none of them will ever talk to anyone about it. They just want to spew shit. They don't ever want to actually interact with anyone.
Yeah.
But living where I live, surrounded by young Earth creationists, with Ken Ham's boat right down the road, it's important to me to expose those things and talk about actual, the facts that lie under those things. Like Ken Ham, he packs the auditorium down there full of kids every day and makes them repeat after him that the world is only 6,000 years old, that evolution is a religion. He sits and makes kids repeat that. That is absolutely a form of brainwashing, is what he's doing.
Wait, Ken Ham says evolution is a religion too?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Where do they get that idea from? There's
He
no
doesn't harp
God
on it.
in evolution.
Well, it's what Aiden said, I think. Like, they can't fathom that you don't have a belief in some major world that you make every decision on, because they do. So they project it as a religion onto those that don't have a religion. And that's the only thing I can think of.
So it's incredulity, essentially.
Yeah, it's just projection. It's just I have these beliefs that control everything I do, so you must too, and yours is evolution.
Yeah, I think Ken Howell said that a lot. And said and same thing with Eric Howell. Said that time is their god. And
it's funny.
Have you ever seen Eric Hovind?
Oh yeah, I interact with Eric Hovind quite often.
Really?
Oh yeah, on Twitter.
I'd like to have Eric on my channel sometime.
Yeah,
for obvious reasons. Think you could help facilitate that, maybe?
I mean, I can try. He usually ignores me. Every now
he
and then,
ignores me too. I've sent him messages, never get a response.
Occasionally, whenever I say something like, especially if I'm like a smartass about it, because when I'm responding on Twitter, when in Rome, I treat them the same way they treat us. So, sometimes he'll respond with something, or he'll respond back with a meme or something like that. Eric Hovind's a douchebag.
I used to talk to him. Like, we had each other's phone numbers and we'd exchange texts and everything, but
I've seen a lot of other people.
Ignores me now.
I've seen a lot of other people he used to text and talk to that he doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know Daniel from Twitter?
No, I don't do Twitter.
Darwin to Jesus. That's his name on YouTube.
No, I've never seen that guy.
Yeah, you're better off.
Every community has theirs, It'd be better off
there's little cliques. Ken and Eric, the Trinity of Stupidity. That's awesome, Claude. Hey, and I seen you. You jumped on my channel last night, didn't you, Claude? Nice to see you. I think you subscribed or something, didn't you? I know I seen you talking on there. Anyway, I can't remember. A lot went on during that. I tell you what, having Matt Dillahunty on, it's already been a huge bump for my channel.
That was a great show, by the way.
Well, thank you. I tried not to ramble as much as usual, because I'll just go on and on and on, and that's a flaw of mine.
I need a gun. Oh, there's one. Sorry.
Have you ever seen a PG show, Private Guy show?
I've seen a couple friends of mine that I do a lot of stuff with. They've covered some stuff, and I've seen clips and things like that where silly things have been said, and they're making fun of it usually.
Yeah,
But-
weren't we just watching a Proverbs guy video?
Yeah. So I've seen that one for sure.
We didn't even really get into the meat of the dumbassery that was going on that night or last
Yeah.
night.
I like to. So if you go back in my older videos, like before I started doing live streams, I would do videos of like some of the dumbass stuff that Kenneth Copeland says and does.
Oh gosh, I can't stand him.
I covered some Kent Hovind stuff too, but not very much. So for people like that, I would rather not because it's not going to do any good to have a conversation because they're not listening. They have no desire to listen to anything you say. They've got a narrative just like Kent. It's and they're just going to repeat that. So usually on videos like that, I would rather just make a video pointing out how idiotic they are, and
Billy!
within that video also
Marky.
correct the facts. Hey, Billy.
Hi, Bill.
Hey. Since I ain't been on in a while, I figure I'd make a little noise with y'all.
Hey, it's good to
Have
see
you
you.
ever talked to Mr. Joe?
I just talked to y'all last night.
I mean, Joe. The Kentucky
Mr.
guy.
Jones, you said? Oh,
Mr. Joe.
Kentucky.
He's
I've
talking
seen
about
him
me.
around. I have
Yeah.
seen you around. I see you made your way
Where
over
are
to
you
our little
from?
circle,
Because
though.
You've got a accent kind of like mine. Where are you from?
Georgia.
Okay.
Live in South Carolina, but from Georgia.
Where do you guys think
Yeah.
I'm from?
Well, I know where
Don't
you're
answer if
from.
you know.
Originally.
Pennsylvania.
Oh my god! I should just. I'm gonna stop living now that you said that. I'm not from
Are you close to
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania?
From Alabama. Come on.
You don't sound like Alabama at all.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Birmingham, which is like the Atlanta of Alabama.
Right.
It's a hodgepodge. There's no real accent. It's just
Yeah.
everybody talks kind of the blend of everything. I can do accents, but
I hear a little bit of it in there, just not much. It's not. It doesn't stick out enough to catch it.
It's there,
But after you
especially
mentioned
when I get talking with people that have the southern draw. It'll come out.
Yeah. The faster I talk, the worse my accent gets. One of my friends, Al Trucker, he's from Canada, and he was on my show talking this past Saturday. We all had a huge discussion, and there was a bunch of us talking. And
is that?
After he got off the stream, he went and talked to his wife, and she said, "Why are you talking like that?" And he said he picked up some of my Kentucky accent talking to me.
Now,
Well, I
Robin
think you
has
talked
the
to Robin.
thickest-
I was just about to mention that.
Robin's got the thickest accent.
Yeah, Robin.
I love it.
Robin's on
listening
the
to
other side
Robin.
of the state.
I stick out like a sore thumb in Washington. I mean,
Washington,
even
D.C.?
though Washington in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, okay.
Washington State. Yeah.
I used to live up outside of Washington for a short period of time, and everybody made fun of my accent up there.
Yeah, they can get over it.
Yeah, they had to. But I've got a lot of people that like to listen to my show just because of my accent. They say
Right.
they like it.
There's people that like my show too, and I don't understand why.
Yeah. When I started doing my show, I never expected, I knew that a few people would subscribe or whatever that just were interested in meeting people or whatever, but I never really expected it to be like anything successful about it. I just wanted to talk to people. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm not.
I'm down again, Logan.
I talk about science and stuff sometimes, but I'm not a genius or anything like that. I just like to have conversations with people about the things they believe, and you know, that a group of people formed around it. And you know, I've watched atheist stuff for years and years and years on YouTube, but I never, in fact, I always closed the chat so I didn't even have to see it. But whenever I started doing my live streams and interacting with the chat, I couldn't have met a better group of people. They're, you know, everybody's been awesome and really great to me, and they, you know, it's not just about them being atheists. You know, it's a really honest, just great group of people. And I mean, Missing Maud hangs out with us and likes everybody there, even though she doesn't agree with just about anything we say. But
I don't know if Missing Maud has a community where she agrees with anything that anybody says.
yeah,
She's even been shunned from the Proverbs guys.
well, no hate like Christian love.
That's right.
Who hasn't been shunned from the Prolapse boys?
Dan, Achilles, and Ryan.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
they
Technically,
are the
I haven't.
Prolapse boys.
But
Technically,
you
if I haven't
Okay.
been over there, I can't be shunned. So,
No, that doesn't count. It doesn't count.
oh, that don't count. Well, I guess I got
Oh,
to.
sorry,
Well,
no.
technically, I've been blocked once by Steven. He told me to kick rocks because I made a sarcastic comment.
Kick rocks. That's I use
So
that term.
sensitive, that guy.
Yeah, he's little.
Steven's very sensitive.
He rage
I
quit
won't
last
even use
night.
the word.
I love it when that happens.
It was hilarious. He was getting fired up, and then he's like, "I gotta go."
Yeah, can't have him doing more work. It was only 4:30 there, so
Probably.
the day wasn't over. I guess I got better internet
off
out
that
there
internet.
because they
Come
used
over
to
here and do some
complain
work.
all the time.
Are you playing a game?
Well,
there,
they just
Trevor?
don't have Steve Lynn there anymore. That controls the internet.
Well, yeah, this is true, but I'm hoping that what's his face Joseph took him off of some of all those stupid channels he was on. He was streaming to like 10 different platforms at the same time. That does
Yeah, that was
nothing
an
but hurt
issue.
the bandwidth.
Right.
Oh, cool!
Can't
I just
stream to
got
that many.
Atheist Junior just asked me to come on his channel.
Oh, cool. That'll be cool. AJ's awesome.
Yeah,
I love him.
That give you a little bump, yeah.
Are you atheist senior?
I don't think so.
Wait, do you guys know each other?
AJ?
Yeah.
No. The only interaction me and AJ have had, he didn't. He disagreed with me, and I mean, there was no arguing or anything. I just told him that I thought he could have. I thought that he made himself look bad by the way he approached a situation with Stephanie Helms. But it's nothing against him. I just, you know, was saying,
yeah.
I don't think the infighting helps. You know, that's all I was getting at.
Stephanie wanted me to do a show with her, but she made a prerequisite that I had to watch this like 45-minute video. So I sent her a video of my own that I required her to watch, and then I never heard from her again. It was something about furries.
Is it about
Wait.
Lupin? I think.
Hey, furry lives matter too.
They wanted she to watch a furry video first before having you on?
No. The video that I sent her was a furry video about.
Oh, you sent the furry video.
Yeah, she wanted to
Oh,
watch. She wanted
okay.
me to watch some like it was like 46 minutes, and my attention span is about as long as a goldfish. So unless it's something that really entertains me, I'm gonna have a hard time watching 45 minutes worth of a video. I mean, you see here, I'm having to play video games just to be on this stream and not lose my mind.
I mean, you switched video games like 4 times now. What are you on now?
that's
Ain't
right.
that Fortnite? No,
It's
that ain't Fortnite.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. Never mind. I see. Well, you got to keep in mind I am driving.
But she wanted
So
me
I'm
to
looking
watch
at the
something-
top video there.
Yeah, she wanted me to watch something on about trans, which I have no problem with trans people. Like, be yourself, whatever. To each of their own. But like, I felt just offended that I had to watch a video to have a conversation with a person. Like, so I went and found a furry video and said, "Hey, will you watch this? Then we can talk."
What the furry
But
video about?
but it was like a legitimate video too, because people that do the whole furry thing, they do face a lot of persecution. They really do. There's a lot of hate out there for furries for some reason. I don't understand. I used
So
to be a mascot in high school when I wasn't playing football. So like, I'm not a furry. I'm not. I don't have a furry suit. I don't have a persona or anything like that. But
are you
I can
sure?
relate. I can relate. I understand what it's like to be in a costume like that. It's interesting. It's a whole nother level of humanity, I
You think
guess. It's not bad.
There's a weird pirate thing too. You know about that?
What's that?
You know about the thing where people are pirates?
Uh-uh.
Like it's a whole thing. Like they like to dress up as pirates and
What, like
and
Steve the
act as
pirate from
Well,
Dodgeball?
I mean,
yeah, like
is
that.
Mark
And
is
it's like,
technically a pirate.
Yeah.
He's a pirate descendant.
well,
I
I'm
have
I'm technically a pirate too. I'm one of the top pirates in the world if you want to know the truth about it, but
Oh, nice.
we're not going to get into the details.
One of my ancestors was
I see.
an
I know.
authentic pirate back in like the Revolutionary War.
Yeah. I'll put it this way. I'm for freedom of information on the internet.
I
Yeah.
got you. I got you. I
I've
subscribe to
I've
that.
done I've been involved not just like pirating, but with the political side of it. I've been involved with that
Yeah,
since
me too.
2006.
Stop moving.
But you can't
You
really
are
talk.
not alone. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
be strong here? You identify as a pirate?
If there was only
Yeah,
a bay for pirates, like a
I
pirate bay
know.
of some sort.
I know.
Mark Starnes identifies
Wouldn't
as a
that be beautiful?
he says he goes in a what they call garage and says he's a car.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in a garage and you say you're a car then, right?
Yep.
No.
What do you think of that? Oh, Joe.
It's kind of like a Christian that goes to church. You know, just because they're in the church, they can call themselves Christian, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Yeah,
There's
that's
this
exactly how it works, right?
So, you know how this applies and why like people like Stephanie talk about this is because people get caught up all the time wanting to say things like there's only two sexes, male and female, and there's a difference between sexes and genders. A sex is a biological condition. It speaks of your chromosomes. A gender is how you identify yourself. Genders are not specific to sex. And so there's a lot of confusion when those words are used, and why people get all touchy and worked up about it is because people who want to spread hate purposely conflate the two in order to make a nonsense argument. Whenever
What is the
gender,
difference between
Yeah, you-
sex and gender?
Yeah.
There's a
Legitimate
huge
question.
difference.
So-
So the difference is that gender is a social construct. It's
yes,
how we present ourselves. So that's something that has changed throughout time. While sex is the biological term, the XY and XX chromosomes.
exactly.
Plants don't have gender, but they do have sex.
Yeah.
Plants
Yeah.
are getting more than I do.
And that's not.
Mhm.
This isn't an argument about genders or trans people or anything like that, but it's just about the use of those words. And a lot of especially groups that spread hate speech will purposely conflate those terms when they know better just to confuse people and make them think that it's okay to say this and that. Whenever gender is specific to how you identify yourself, you don't have. That's why Facebook lists that there's so many hundred genders that you can pick from, because it has nothing to do with your sex. It has to do with how you identify your personality and yourself. So
So, all right,
gender can
look,
be a variety of things.
I know this is going to sound like a stupid question, but which one is where you have a penis or vagina, gender or sex? I know that
Sex.
sounds simple, but I really don't know.
Sex.
Neither.
Oh,
I mean,
well,
it would be more closely related to sex, but
Yeah.
you can be born with an XY chromosome, which you would call a male, and not have a penis. That happens, but it's rare.
Really?
I mean,
There's people
Oh,
born
yeah.
without
Oh, yeah.
arms and legs.
Wait, you can have not a penis and be a boy?
Yes.
yes.
How does that work?
It happens. People are born that way.
There's people born without arms and legs.
Some are born without arms and legs.
Yep. You're still a human.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is gender is a deeper question than sex. It's you know, it goes a layer deeper to say, like, okay, you're born with a sex, that's what your chromosomes are. No matter anything else, you're born a particular sex. But how you identify your gender isn't dependent on that in any way. It's a deeper question of how you feel about yourself. Your feelings are part of your gender.
So
Not to say
one
that
doesn't.
like people decide necessarily.
They're completely unrelated, then, right?
Yeah, they're not the same in any way.
I don't know. I was always taught that there's two. Like you're either a boy or a girl, and like that's just the way humans are.
Like, I don't usually engage in a lot of these conversations because it's not my experience, and I'm not the person to talk to about it, and I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. But someone like Stephanie Helms or Jenny Morgan, they like to talk to people about this in a way to like educate, not to argue, not to say you're wrong for thinking this, but to talk about it and to explain how those things work. And they're very, very well read on the subject. And both Jenny and Stephanie have both been trans people since way back in the 60s, when it wasn't popular to do such a thing. And
Stephanie's trans?
Yeah.
I knew there was something about her.
And those two people, though, if you really have questions, if you really have questions about that stuff and you want to like have a conversation to learn something, those are the people to talk to. They're very, very good at what they do. And they won't be assholes about it. And there's no question you can't ask. You can ask anything you want, especially Jenny Morgan. Jenny Morgan loves it. You can ask her anything you want to ask her, and she'll explain best she can to you how, why things are a certain way, and they're cool about it.
There's also a call-in show on the line called the Transatlantic Call-in Show. I believe it's on Thursday evenings.
Yeah. Sorry.
Where you can call and you can ask questions. You can argue if you want to.
I certainly don't want to argue. I just want to understand.
No,
and,
no, I know, but I'm just
the way
saying
I was educated and brought up. Like,
I was brought up that way too, Mark. I get it. Like, but there's people out there that want to explain these things and want to have those conversations, and I encourage you to do that. I mean,
and I'm one of them.
Yeah. I was going to say AJ's here. I'm not the person to speak on it.
AJ is one of the most beautiful souls I know. He's great.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
And not just because he sent me
Fucking
candy,
awesome.
all right? In his white van that said free candy on the side. It has nothing to do with that. It's just because he's genuinely a good person.
That is misrepresenting the situation, Mark. There's no white van involved. Kent is a white van. No, he literally does.
I know.
Yeah.
Cindy bought it for him.
Isn't that funny?
I know. It's sad. It really is.
But this is a historic meeting though, because I'm on with the great Kentucky atheists who I've been seeing this person all over YouTube. I've been hearing legends.
The man, the myth.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
No, I was saying that's a good job getting Matt Dillahunty on your show. That's should help you grow for sure.
I've seen results from it already. It's a lot of people have discovered my channel because of it.
I had Arn Ra on my channel and lost subscribers.
I was
which is
gonna
fine.
say,
Which is fine. Like if people don't want to listen to opposing
if people
viewpoints,
feel
and
the
I don't want them
need,
to subscribe to my
Well,
channel.
if,
I have
if
Arn
people
is
feel the
sorry.
if people feel the need to unsubscribe because you at one time have
Because you had a
Arn
conversation.
this, yeah, and it wasn't even you who had the conversation.
Right.
You
I just hosted it.
between Arn and Christian Pike, and they talked about evolution. If
Arn will
people
be on my
then,
channel Sunday.
Nice.
ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, next Sunday. I'm a bit confused on the date.
But yeah, and I don't think you shouldn't think of it as clout chasing, because again, like the number one thing that has helped my channel grow has been doing collabs with bigger channels.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Well, I mean, these are, Matt and Arn are both people that influenced me and have,
Sure.
well, I mean, everything influences, I guess, but they're people that I've looked up to in this community since before I ever even thought about starting a channel. And
Yes.
it's nice to talk to them about some of the things that have came up since starting the channel. And, again, me and Arn have similar experiences of being brought up by young earth creationists and racist bigots, and it's so I think that we can talk on a level and just have a chat that will be both engaging and possibly entertaining.
Yeah, but I don't want to derail the topic of the stream. So what were you saying before about we were talking about gender? Mark, sorry, wrong name.
Yeah, I'm not like, I get that there's people who transition. I just don't understand the whole difference between sex and gender. I've always thought like they were just synonymous.
Okay, I'm going to do my best to try and explain this, but it's difficult. It's a weird topic, but I guess the way I look at it is like your biological sex is innate. You have an assigned sex when you're born, and that can't be changed. And I don't think, and this is a real strawman argument that anti-trans people on Twitter love to use, is that people think that trans people think, oh, you can't change a man to a woman, and it's like, no, you're a assigned male and you transition, and then you're a trans woman if that's what you do. But anyway, that's
all right. That you said something there that I don't get. You're
okay.
assigned. What do you mean assigned?
It just
when
means
you're born,
yeah,
the doctor that delivers you is gonna make a determination and say if it's a boy or a girl.
And boy, girl, that's sex or gender?
That's sex. That's your biological sex.
Yes.
But then gender is more of something that's not innate. It's something it's an expression of your own sensibilities, of like your style and the way that you like to look, or the style of your hair or facial hair, or just anything about yourself.
So just individuality.
Yeah, the things you can control about your presentation are related to gender. The things you can't are related to sex. Would be one way to explain it.
So like, if a guy is really effeminate.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That would be
which doesn't mean that he is trans.
Not necessarily, yeah.
No, necessarily.
No, I didn't say trans. I said effeminate.
No,
yeah, I know. I'm just clarifying because it does get a bit muddy.
Yeah.
Because.
But you can understand, like, it's not really confusion. It's just
No, I
it's
get
not
it.
incredulity
live-
either. It's
uh,
just like what I
lobby,
was
my friend
taught.
wanna join.
Yeah.
Say again?
I get it.
Okay, Logan, I heard you.
Yeah, but see, this is what those type of turfs take advantage of. The anti-trans people, they take advantage of that sort of muddy. They muddy the water on a topic that's already a bit confusing for people who aren't either woke or trans or not gender non-conforming themselves. They know about this stuff, but the public kind of has a very poor understanding. I think that's fair to
Yeah,
say.
and I mean,
Ooh, I just got Aphrodite as a skin in Fortnite. She's pretty smoking
one
hot.
of the
Not gonna lie.
things that makes it maybe a bit harder to understand is the fact that even though the two are different, it's not. I mean, people who are trans have known about it since they were small children. It's not something that you one day wake up and like, oh, I feel like I want to be a trans man today, and tomorrow I'm going to be my assigned sex. And it is something that goes beyond just, we say it's how you feel, and that is true,
So
but it goes
I was
beyond
born.
that.
I was born with the boy sex,
Yeah.
and God, that sounded horrible. That sounded really nasty. Boy sex. Wow. No, I was born a boy. I've always identified as male. Would that
Yeah.
be so?
Yes.
There's no way that I could just one day say, "Hey, I feel like being a woman," and then suddenly,
Not
know,
unless
Yeah.
you go, if you went through something
like basically, I
extremely
can't just put on a dress, right, and say
No.
I'm female.
No.
Gender.
That would be cross-dressing,
Yeah, that would be
which is cool
cross-dressing.
too.
I've
I
done
have
that before.
I have no issue with that. Apparently
photographic
Achilles has
evidence.
too. Yeah, I think many of us have. Apparently Achilles did also, which I told him that Pixar didn't happen personally, but
There's pics of mine.
but another thing, Steven, if you're
Hey, Andy.
the thing is also about assigning sex is that it's not always a cut and dry thing, which is a whole other topic.
No, I know.
But
Yeah.
an important one. But maybe I don't want to, maybe not even get into all that. But that's another thing,
Yeah.
And that's why some people take issue with it. Is that that one did that, the doctor made that determination. Like, was that the right thing to do at the time? Maybe, maybe not.
I can hear you. Oh, sorry.
Who can you hear?
Oh, he's playing Fortnite.
I'm talking to the voices
Wait.
in my head.
Okay. Calm down.
There's only two voices in my head, so I'll be all right.
Okay,
So I
good.
had a fun day. Apparently, my debit card got hacked or something because there's people trying to make these crazy purchases on it and like getting denied, which is kind of funny because they had like $7 on the account. So I had to go through the whole thing of they call you and cancel the card and all that. So that was fun.
Fun.
Yeah. Trying to buy like $500 worth of stuff from Staples.com. Like
Well, dang it! I cannot afford these paper clips. Lucky me, I skimmed this dude.
But Mark, I now know what it's like to have Dan constantly lie about you. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's really annoying. But hey, this show's been going on about 3 hours. I think Gangster's about ready to shut it down. He just sent me a message, so I think he's AFK. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the outro and thank everybody for being here. It was a great stream, especially for the 100th subscriber stream. Like, this was awesome. We had some new guests, we had some old friends, just a good time. Really good conversations. And I really appreciate everybody coming in here and being cool.
And don't forget, Gangster Ghost is the man with the kindest heart, the most
Oh, yeah.
intricate mind, and the best
He's
old
the best.
lady Hovind. He is the best.
You're the best old lady Hovind, Gangster.
Old lady Hovind.
And
Well,
yeah,
thanks
me
for,
on the
thanks
show
for having
before.
me on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it was a pleasure. And anytime you guys want to come on, we do streams on this channel, we do them on my channel, and also on Chuck's channel. So you're welcome anytime on any of those 3 platforms. And Missing Mod too. I'm sure she would love to have you.
See, Christian Pike just showed up at the very end. That's a shame.
Oh yeah, sorry,
And
brother Pack.
I'm gonna try to not make a fool of myself tomorrow. Who am I kidding?
Oh, you're gonna do great. You really are. I have so much confidence in you. You don't even know. It's gonna be awesome.
Thank you.
Are you guys going to be talking in the offline? Because maybe he can join and do that. Just saying.
Well, I could open up a Google Meet, but I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream.
Okay,
So
we'll figure it out.
thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for the chats. Thanks for the likes, the subscriptions. Even if you didn't, I'm still gonna thank you anyway because you were here.
And thanks for the memories.
Have a wonderful